Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Department of CSE, Dr. MDR Educational and Research Institute, I, Fatma, from third year BTech CSE Department, feel very privileged and honored to be given the opportunity to compare today's event, that is the MDR Alumni Conclave 2021. First, a special mention to our respected President Engineer, ACS Arun Kumar, for giving his consent for the conduct of the program as well as the complete creative freedom. It's a pleasure to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi, for her solid support system and encouragement. Hearty welcome to our MAA office representative for inspiring us always to carry out important events like this. Words are not sufficient to thank our respected head of department, Dr. S. Geeta, for her constant guidance and motivation. A hearty welcome, ma'am. It's an ardent pleasure to welcome Ms. Kanmani, the moderator for today's event. I heartily welcome our alumni coordinators who stand as pillars of strength. And last but not the least, I'd like to welcome our alumni, Mr. Akash Gupta, Mr. Akash Verma, Mr. Bhavesh Srivastava, and Dr. S. Nilavathi Pari for being present here today. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule and being with us here today. So first, I'd like to invite Ms. Geeta ma'am to welcome the gathering.
Good morning to one and all present in this August gathering. Really, I'm very happy to welcome you all for this Alumni Conclave event. On behalf of the Department of Computer Science Engineering, Dr. MDR Education and Research Institute, I'm extremely overwhelmed to get this opportunity to welcome all the panelists, our executives, and our students participants on the special conclave event of our elite institution. The schedule of the conclave will focus on the topic of ray of hope in AI, IoT, and machine learning technology, which is the need of an hour today. And it's a great pleasure to welcome our Honorable President, Dr. ACS Arun Kumar, for his insistent and support and encouragement towards whatever we just initiated. I'm very happy to welcome our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Geeta Lakshmi Madam, who is always supporting us and motivating us whatever we are attempting it. And my sincere and thank as well as welcome our mentor, Dr. V. Sirilraj sir, who is our pillar of support almost all the student of panelists might aware of the contribution of Cyril sir towards our department growth. It's our turn to extend our warm welcome to Joint Registrar Events Publication Alumni Dr. L. Ramesh for being the catalyst that stimulated to do the best. Even though this conclave is the marker of the institution, it allows us to meet some of the brilliant minds. With all those words, I'm extremely delighted and happy to pronounce the special people for the day, who is none other than our proud alumni, as I can say it in other way, distinguished alumni, Mr. Akash Gupta, Associate Analyst and Insight, Deutsche Bank. He is from the batch of 2010. And Mr. Akash Verma, AI Platform Architect, Thocentric Lab, he is from the batch of 2007. Dr. S. Nilavathi Pari, really I'm very happy. One of the panelists from our domain, that is the teaching fraternity. He is a professor who is working currently as a professor in MIT campus, Anna University. He is from the batch of 2003. And Ms. Kanmani is management trainee, DB Shinka, who is from the batch of 2014. And last, our alumni, Mr. Ratinavel, who is from the batch of 2008, who is an entrepreneur, who cast the light of their knowledge upon the students. Panelists are essential for the students who wanted to be like him or her on one day. Let us give a heavy applause to our alumni who has immediately accepted our request, and they are going to be with us for another 2 to 3 hours to enlighten our pursuing students. Let us give a heavy applause to their alumni once again. It's an ardent pleasure to welcome our staff members and students who support the event in many ways, unimaginable, not only helping with the ideas, but also with the execution of those ideas. Without their support, nothing could be possible in the department. Before we carry on with the event, I would like to give my regards and appreciation to all the people who made this event reality and this institution successful. This would not have a possible without the shared contribution of you all. We all are a part of this institution to our shared passion for the vision of our institution. Our passion unites us and our hard work strengthens the institution. I guarantee that the conclave will be protective and worth your precious time. I conclude my speech by wishing everyone a successful, safe, and fruitful conclave. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful words. Now, we'll play a video.
Rohan, can you play the video, Rohan? Rohan, are you online, Rohan? Can you hear me, Rohan? I think we can continue. Fatima, you can continue, Fatima.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. So now I'd like to call upon our Vice Chancellor to give the felicitation address.
Thank you for inviting me for this great event of by our MDR Educational Research Institution for their alumni conclave, wherefore it would be happening for 25 days with the 25 departments and 25,000 participants here of their alumni. Well done by our Ramesh, who's making this possible, which would go to the records. And today, on behalf of the management, I welcome all my alumni of the MDR Educational Research Institute for their interaction with the institution, with the faculty, and with the students. Of course, you would be the forerunner and the leader to take these students to forward towards achieving many goals in their life. So education is just learning process, how to deal in the world around them when they go out. So it is not the end of their life. So it is the faculty who should give a helping hand, communicate with the faculty and the students who would be coming out in future and help them together so that you also improve and they also improve in their forward running into their future. And as you know, like today, the machine learning, the topic machine learning, IoT and AI, artificial intelligence, have come into focus in all the fields. So in future, waiting for another improvement, students have to get their skill development in these and progress into the next level so that the days coming in future would make us a little bit coming close, very close, so that manual work is reduced and these artificial intelligence, IoT and AT and machine learning would make it in all fields, right from automobile engineering to medical and what so not. And it would be easy, it's in the grip of our hand. So I think so. the alumni who are going to deliver, and all the other alumni and faculty and the students would be benefited with these conclave. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your informative words. Now, I'd like to invite Dr. V. Civil Raj, Additional Registrar, staff and students to address the gathering. Sir?
Respected Vice Chancellor Madam, respected Head of Department of Computer Science and Engineering. First of all, I would like to thank our Honorable Founder Chancellor, Dr. Ashish Ranjan sir, for providing such a wonderful platform for all of us to elevate in our career. I would like to thank our President Sir, Engineer S.S. Arun Kumar, for his constant support towards rolling out new such innovative programs to bring more and more knowledge components to our university. Dear alumni, so now we, as a Department of Computer Science and Engineering, we treat our alumni as part of our system, that is at par with some the faculty members or the staff members of our department. There are a lot of annotations like a faculty member is something like a ladder. The ladder is used by alumni, by the students to climb up in your career. At the same time, after climbing up here, so it is a continuous journey. So we need your support for our next level of journey. So it is it is a participative activity. So at one time we are supporting you to climb up in the ladder. In the next round of process, Nokia, it is you who has to support us in climbing to the next level. So the next level in the sense, Nokia, all of you agree. Every day new developments are happening there. So since you are associated in industries, so you know what are the latest developments which are happening there. So obviously, if you see the curriculum, so there are a lot of gap between the curriculum that actually what we have designed and then what we are delivering to the students, and then with that of what is being practiced in the industry. So that's why what we are requesting to you is, so be part of our system. So as an alumni, please keep the following agendas in your checklist. So at least once in 6 months, so definitely you should have visited your alma mater, and then so definitely in every year you need to participate in a lot of alumni related activities. Through you, we want your knowledge, your experience to be shared with our existing students. So you are the role model for them. So definitely, whatever that we talk, so obviously, they will have a preset mind to while resuming those content. But wherein if you talk, so definitely they will take those messages onto their hearts, and then they'll try to implement it also. So that's what actually. So you are the change setters. So through you, here we wanted to have a total transformation to our department and then to our university. So thanks to the able administration of our president, and then as well as the guidance given by our vice chancellor madam, we are compelling each department to keep alumni there in most of their functional committees. So one such a committee is the curriculum development cell, or in other way it is called as the board of studies of that particular department. So definitely you have to participate in that board of studies, and then whatever the subjects that we are teaching up here, please help us in updating those content with with the, with the relevant industry standards also. So this way, and then once during the course of study, as already I told you, your frequent interactions with the students community that mentoring will make the students to fill the gap. That is, what are the skill sets that are being expected from you from your side. So we can concentrate on those skills. So obviously, you can help us in implementing the industry visits or implant training for our students, because these are some of the compulsory components for our students. Then again, happy to inform you that we made foreign language as a compulsory program in our curriculum also. So definitely, those who are there in various other countries, probably you can definitely consider our students with the knowledge of the foreign language will be good trendsetters also. Then at the same time, ultimately the stakeholders need a good guidance for the placement also. So you can identify some of the best students with your mentoring. So definitely they'll be evaluating themselves up to your particular expectations also. So this is the way that ecosystem. But at the same time, the next speaker will be Dr. Ramesh will be talking about what are the benefits actually that the institution wanted to pass on to your to the alumni, and then to their family, and then to the friends also. So that clear, this relationship should go as long as you and then me and then this institutions the institution is continuing. So this is what actually the continuous relationship we're expecting from you. I hope that alumni after this conclave probably will have a personal interaction with some of the dearest alumni. Akash Verma is there, and then Ratnavel is there, and then another Akash is also there. So definitely, I think I'm trying to recollect some of the golden memories that actually we were having with you. How you made us to literally run through, several books to take classes also. So you made us to learn a lot of things also. So really, thanks, to you, dear alumni, as well as I have to say you as my brothers and sisters. So thanks a lot for providing such a wonderful opportunity. I'll again come back.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful words. Now, I'd like to invite...
Fatima, 1 minute. I think we are ready with the video now. Can we play the video? Rohin?
I'm
thanks. Very excellently presented.
Thank you, sir. Fatima can continue, Fatima.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. That was truly a very enjoyable video. Now, I'd like to invite the NAA office representative, Dr. L. Ramesh, to talk to us a bit about the MDR Alumni Association.
Thank you, and very warm and very good morning to all, and a very big welcome to all our very great alumni. Very happy to see Akash and all the teams here to connect back and going to support for our present students. It was very great, and the same time it is a very the 6th day we are traveling to achieve a World Book of Record. The 25 days, 25 alumni conclave, 25 departments, 25,000 participants, present students connecting with alumni. With the support of all the department heads, we are traveling in a good part. So on this occasion, I would like to share the outcome of alumni in a very short summary. We are very happy to inform that our alumni association, named as Dr. MDR Alumni Association, all called as MA, registered under a Society Act with registration number SRG 342021. So very happy note that, and it continued the activities last 3, 4, 5 years. And our short outcome is that we have around 5 international network and we have 7 national network. What is the objective for this? Maybe Akash and teams are also already connected with our networks. These 5 international and 7 national network are connecting the alumni in a particular city. For example, we have Bangalore network, we have Delhi network. Delhi network is the top active network. We have 2 Delhi network. So there is a lot of job exchange of job is happening. There is a lot of discussion in between the junior, because we have from 1992 batch to till now in the Delhi network. So the one example which I would like to point out. So the connecting the present students, connecting the alumni is also we are creating through these networks. And we have 2 alumni portal. This through alumni portal, one we call it as Alma Connect, and the new portal which is launched by our university, we call it as Ma Connect. So this Ma Connect very presently we are connected last year, and this year the connectivity is going on. Around 26,000 alumni are connected with us through this portal. Keeping in that mind, we started the service for the alumni. Around 160 abroad students got benefited through our service, which is connected with the register office, which is connected with the alumni office. Very reason we find it out. Last week, we received a request from Canada to get within 2 hours to, there is an English medium certificate like that. So like that, we are doing a very kind of things for our alumni. Only for a needed part, and only for a very whether it is needed, we are suggest to do. 200 national students benefited through our alumni services, and we Ma organized 3 Silver Jubilee reunion. The started from 1992. 3 Silver Jubilee reunion organized, and this year in the process, and 4 decennial reunion, 10th year celebration, and this year also in progress. And Ma has executed. We have 2 type of events. One is university level events, where our association is taking care. Till now, 75 events are organized. And the department level events, it is mandatory all the department to organize minimum 1 to 2 events per semester. Through that, we connected 400 events. It means 400 into 2, 1,500 alumni. We connected as a speaker with our present students. So this is a short part which I would like to share, and thank you so much for the way you can able to grow your part to the next level. And I am very happy, around 10 to 15 students through our alumni support, they moved for their higher studies through in Singapore, Malaysia, like that. Already some of our students are there. So through that, there is a connectivity is there. So this is what actually we are doing, connecting the present students and alumni students in combination with a lot of in part 1 part is the today we all are here for our World Book of Record event. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I'd like to call upon Mrs. Ruba Devi, the Deputy Dean of MDR Alumni Association, to tell us a bit more about the MDR Alumni Conclave 2021. Ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yeah, very happy morning to one and all present here. It's my pleasure to walk you through the Conclave 2021. Yet another milestone in the history of MDR, where MDR Alumni Association is taking up a massive world record attempt in connecting 25,000 participants with the alumni speakers through conclaves for 25 days as a part of our founder chancellor birthday. The objective of the 25 conclaves connecting 25,000 participants is to enlighten the minds of our budding engineers through our alumni experiences. Having 5 alumni experts amidst us today is a great blessing for our current students. Listening to their experiences itself is a great opportunity, and I feel that you are lucky to be part of it. For us, we are very much delighted to have our alumni panelists. Akash Gupta, Akash Verma, Mr. Ratinaveli, 2010 batch. He is an entrepreneur who has joined today. Dr. S. Nilavathi Pari, she is a professor from MIT campus. And we have a moderator, Ms. Kanmani Shanmuga Sundari, who is a management trainee, 2014-18 passed out. Among us today. They have joined us today to share the knowledge and enhance our mental horizon. This conclave has surpassed the various challenges that our education system has faced over the pandemic years and has adopted the changing technology trends in the industry. We expect to come a long way in making the conclave a huge success with more than 1,000 participants to grab this World Book Record certificate by achieving the target of 25K. Thus, this year, the conclave takes place in a digital platform. The theme of the conclave is the change in the education dynamics around the globe due to COVID-19 pandemic. The major outcomes that we expect from this conclave is a national and international framework for the changing education systems around the world and how it can be inclined with the concept of social distancing caused due to COVID-19 pandemic. I will halt my words and hope all the alumni speakers and the moderator will operate along the values of our institution and manage its reputation at every go of life. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I'd like to call upon Ashish Ranjan from 4th year BTech CSE department to introduce Ms. Kanmani, our moderator for today.
A very good morning to you all. Now I would like to take the honor of introducing our moderator for today, Ms. Kanmani, who is the management training at the DB cycle. She is an MBA graduate from SRM IST, Vadapalani, silver medalist, was University Gold medalist in BTech CSE, Computer Science and Engineering from Dr. MDR Educational and Research Institute. She is without keen for the role as a content and scribe in the circle for the official content writer for AA Enterprises, so AA Entertainment Private Limited. She was freelancer business consultant for Armored Med Solution and the Passionate Technology from February 2020 to September 2020. Her tendency of the reading attributes to the roles such as subtitle scripter, book editor, content inscriber, proofreading for many companies, films, documentaries, short films, and movies. Her area of research of interest are entrepreneurship, supply chain management, green supply chain, warehouse management throughout her campus life. She was availed in organizing sundry events of all scales, from personal conference to the CSR initiatives. For her identification as an event organizer was a master ceremony and the anchor and the content. Intrigued, she was awarded for the best event organizer in 2017. She does to contribute the society throughout the portals such as SRM Saksham, Women Welfare, Late Outreach, Upliftment of the Children in the rural area, and the volunteer at the Blue Cross of India and the Lad of Daughter. We welcome you, ma'am, to our university again. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish. And finally, I'd like to call upon Ms. Kanmani to tell us about the conclave agenda.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ashish and Ms. Fatima. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of MDR Educational and Research Institute, my alma mater, it's my great privilege to welcome you all to this joyous event, a ray of hope in artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and machine learning technologies, hosted today by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So, just like Ramesh sir and Cyril sir had also said, the overall objective of this conclave is to cover the different aspects of human qualities, sustainability, computing technologies, and health digitalization, and so on. So the topic for the day we're going to focus on is computing technologies, that is artificial intelligence, machine learning, and IoT is going to be our primary focus. A warm welcome to all our virtual audience, esteemed panelists, and our dignitaries today. So it's my privilege to introduce our eminent panelist of the day. So today we have Mr. Akash Verma, AI platform architect in South Centric Labs, and Dr. S. Nilavathi Pari, professor at MIT campus, Anna University, and Mr. Rathnavale, an entrepreneur and ex-Wipro. So thank you, panelists, for joining us today, and welcome on board. So can we get started with the panel discussion, team?
Sure.
Sure. Thank you. So starting off with round one, we're going to have a self-introduction session by our esteemed panelists. So I humbly request our panelists to introduce themselves to the audience. So let's begin with Mr. Akash Verma.
Hey, hi everyone. Hi, this is Akash Verma. I was a student at Dr. MDR University. I was computer science, software engineering 2011 batch. It's almost 10 years now. Very recently, like 3 days back, I completed 10 years of my professional career, and it's great to be back here speaking to everyone. And it's also great to see all the teachers that have taught me, Geeta ma'am, Ramesh sir, Cyril sir, all of them are really pretty much looking the same. So yeah, glad to be here and hope to have a good, fruitful discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Akash. Nilavathi ma'am.
Okay, happy morning to one and all present here. It's my great privilege to be part of a ray of hope in AIT, that is AI, IoT, and machine learning technology, a conclave. Okay, it's a private meeting between our alumni. Okay, so I'm very happy to meet the juniors and my seniors and all my faculty members who have taught me. So I am Dr. Nilavathi Pari, doing an professor in computer science and engineering, computer technology department of MIT campus, Anna University. See, to talk about me, I have completed my engineering, that is BE from Kuvempu University of Karnataka. Then I have been working as a programmer for the National Institute of Computer Technology at Avadi. And later, 1 year, then I have joined Jaya Engineering College. So I have started my profession as a teaching for Jaya Engineering College of 5 years. I was there, where I have started the real teaching with the Madras University affiliation. So later, I have worked for AMS Engineering College, SA Engineering College, and I have joined as a full. Then during that time, I did my ME in MGR. Dr. MDR Educational and Research Institute during the year 2004-2007. Then I have joined as a full-time research scholar at Anna University, and Dr. Sridharan was my guide, a supervisor. Okay, I did my research in the ad hoc networks, so which is really inspired by Dr. Cyril Raj. Okay, so he has handled distributed computing, and we have been talking more on ad hoc networks. During that time, the mobile computing and the ad hoc networks was coming out, and he really inspired me to take the research topic on it is a security in wireless networks. I still remember my class. It is evergreen for me. Cyril Raj, what he has taught me in as a distributed computing. So later,
I have joined as a assistant professor in the Department of Computer Technology, MIT campus, and my research and my teaching is going on very happily. And I have got different portfolios, as Kanmani was telling. She is an entrepreneur, and another entrepreneur, Ratnavel, has joined. So I am the assistant director for the entrepreneurship development at MIT campus from 2019, and I am a hub coordinator for the EDI, Entrepreneurship Development Innovation Institute, that is which comes under MSME. Okay, Tamil Nadu government recognized institute. So I am so under the hub of MIT. So we are having about 60 colleges, and every week and every day I'm doing a lot of events, that is webinars, to bring the awareness. So I wanted to bring our students, that is for the students community. So not the they wanted to be the entrepreneurs. So they need not go and get a job. So they have to be the job creator. They have to create the jobs. And this is another portfolio what I am doing at MIT campus. And I'm also a program officer, and I have been recognized as a best programmer officer from Anna University. And we have Somangalam, a nearby village. So we have adopted that village for the past 3 years. And we are doing out school education and village education for the people around there. We have taken out a survey, and we are helping out the people in the village. So what all they can do. I am more concerned with the society and society and the place where I am living. At present, I'm living at Krompet. And there is a lot of problems what we are having out, like underground water. It is extremely polluted, not only Krompet. So every area keep on getting polluted, right? So how this pollution, underground water, air pollutions. So I'm working on a few of the projects. So which it is based on the technology also. The technology, what I have learned, I have doing out with that. And many ideas, many competitions, many awareness programs. So what is going on? So with all the education and what the values I have got from my teachers, and I thank all my teachers of MDR University for guiding me and for what I am today. Thank you all.
Thank you for your valuable introduction, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to our next panelist, Mr. Ratnavel, sir. Please.
Hello, all. First of all, I would like to thank MDR Educational Research Institute, Department of CSE Alumni Department for the opportunity as a moderator in this conclave. A very good morning to all panelists, executives, faculty, students, and alumni. I'm delighted to be part of this conclave. The objective to create world records with 25,000 participants is not that easy, as you know, and with trending topics is inspiring. My name is Ratnavel Arkat Balasundaram, did my BTech CSE 2010 batch part-time. After my BTech part-time, I worked in corporates in CSE, which is now DXE, with collaboration with HP, and moved to Wipro as a senior architect. I worked in Canada for some time and came back to India, started my venture 2016, G Cloud Networks, which is partnered with Google Cloud now. And I've done some of the turnkey projects in Wipro and in CSE. Those have some connection with the topic that we are discussing today, IoT. And in Turkey, there was a project of centralizing the data centers into a consolidated workload management. In Canada, I did a project for 2 years for modernizing Toronto Airport. That was the project I was talking about, connected with a lot of IoTs. And some more projects I did in Airtel, consolidating data centers in Africa. And right now, I've been doing many projects here in Chennai with corporates. One of my projects also associated with, I'm delighted to say that in MGR itself for digital marketing. Proud to be here, and I would like to recall the days from 2007 to 2010. In the MGR, those days are really like with this computer science department team. We had very good very good batch, and there were a lot of initiatives that helped actually me. Those are eye-opening events, I would say. Triggered a lot of initiatives and triggered a lot of thinking, which transformed my own career after passing out BTech. Then I didn't stop my education. Any initiative, I joined MBA, and then still I'm looking at opportunities where learning should be part of our journey all through the lifetime. I would like to thank all the staff in CSC. At that time, Saran sir was helping me. Silraj sir was guiding me all the time, and we were closely connected actually on the study part as well as initiatives linked with alumni. Mr. Ramesh was also helpful. And all the staff in CSC department. And I would like to continue my journey associated with Dr. MGR Education and Research Institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, panelists. So getting started with our discussion. So the theme of the day, a ray of hope in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and IoT. So if the current world has taught us anything, it is that the technology can transcend any boundaries and give the kind of results that were unimaginable before. So at the forefront of technology today is the lineup of computing devices and applications where they're equipped with smart capabilities. So this makes the people who develop and synthesize these devices the most valuable human resource in the current world. So as a computer science engineer, students are not only taught the history of computing, but they're also taught the present and future expectations from the field of computer science. So this rather brings us to rather very important point in the current world. When we look at the development of computing technology in the past decade, we have seen a fast-growing curve of convenience and practicality that's evolving into a number of daily use products and services. So we have technology in all fields across it, from healthcare to industries to pharma and education, everywhere. So we look at this developing of computing technology in this decade and the last decade. We'd rather the curve is very high. It's grown a lot much. So can this projection or prediction of what the field of computer science or future technology will bring to our lives? So what is the projection or prediction of future technologies in computer science in the future? Is my open question to the panelists. So I kindly request our panelists to share their views on this.
Okay. All right. I'll probably try this. Take a shot at this. So, hey, hi everyone. This is Akash. So, something that I was reading a few weeks back was in CBSE's curriculum, where India now has their own AI strategy, and the way India identifies itself is as an opportunity and also as a solution provider to kind of help towards economic growth and social development as well. The report also had instances about making a more skill-based education as opposed to some kind of a knowledge-intensive education. And the whole idea was to harness the potential of AI in a sustainable manner. Now with this, if you take a stab at the current trends in the education, CBSE originally started with teaching C and then Python in the past few years. But now, starting probably last year, they have started teaching AI as a full-time subject in 11th and 12th, which just gives an idea and insight into what is the scope of this, because education really is more about how you shape up the future and the future generations, right? If you teach somebody in standard 12th as early as their careers as standard 12, you're looking at anywhere in the less of 5 to 7 years before they become employable, right? And that's the idea effectively. So AI is extremely relevant now for current generation. We are solving lots of problems. Personally speaking, I've tackled with problems in marketing, I've tackled with problems in sales, fintech, where we have used AI in kind of solving some of the problems. I have worked with Aadhaar, where we were kind of helping loan providers to automate the whole risk process of transferring the loans to the people. So AI is extremely relevant today, and if you see the current trends in education, even larger organizations, that's on the education side, but if you take a stab at the top level organizations, the Google, Microsoft, there are new positions that are created, which is chief AI officer or chief data officer. And these profiles are very, very strategic in nature, implying the fact that AI as a business vertical is scaling up almost as parallel as traditional IT is. So if I plug and combine and just mishmash both the perspectives about education and the way large enterprises are treating AI, and also the way we are consuming AI on a lot of devices, I would say the next 5 years and even after that, AI would just be very mainstream, where probably every college will have a course in AI, which is almost already there. And the utilization of AI would probably be much more dominant. Some of the sectors, specifically in India, that I've seen, and it's a good kind of match to the topic, is agriculture is a very people intensive problem in India, right? It's a very people intensive, and it's not that digital. I was working with my wife on this, and her organization had kind of a setup where they were leveraging IoT devices, which was very simply just plugged into the fields, and they were relaying the data, which would ideally take manual efforts or manual human tests. And you collect all that and you get an understanding of soil quality. So something as simple as that, agriculture sector, which is probably not at all digital, the last few things to become digital, has started using AI. So as a concluding remark, I would definitely see an immense and a great potential. The next decade probably is with AI. Even as we speak, we don't even understand to the extent AI can help us. It's still immature at a lot of points. So there's a lot of problems that have been solved, and there's an equally large, exponentially high number of problems that can be probably solved. So yeah, great potential, and definitely worth investing the time.
Yes, completely agree. So thank you, Mr. Akash. Dr. Nilavathi ma'am, would you like to share your view on this?
So I would like to talk on IoT. First, I'll say one of the few revolutions what is taking place. Okay, so which has totally changed the structure and the nature of our society. That is a transformation what we are going to see. So earlier, I think 5 decades before, we have been having all the industry revolution, okay, which has been overridden by the information revolution. And now we are into the social revolution. Okay, so social revolution, it is, that is, I will be talking like 2K kids. So that is the technology is for granted. Okay, so they will be, that is the newborn baby or the kids, they will be able to handle the technology better than us. Okay, when a mobile is given, when I'm getting a new mobile, it will take some time for me to learn the features, the current features. But when I'm giving to my kid, very soon he will get adopted. That is, technology is for granted. There is no need for them to learn. It is there inside. Okay. So IoT is going to bring a very big revolution. Okay, that is, internet has changed our life. Okay, if you think that the internet has changed your life, so we have to think again. That is, the Internet of Things is about to change it all over again. Okay, everything is going to be granted. Okay, Weiss, okay, the author, he has mentioned that his dream and the research is on the ubiquitous computing, or we can term it as a pervasive computing, okay, which is part of, like, it is like a what is a mobile computing. Okay, so mobile, how it has made this life wireless. Now we are able to move anywhere. Okay, mobility has come with the communication. Okay, from the mobile computing, the next stage, what we have witnessed is going to be the IoT. For this IoT, the underlying technology can be your pervasive computing. So what is pervasive computing or the ubiquitous computing is? So the technology is going to be embedded in the environment. So no more I'm going to carry a mobile. No more I'm going to worry about the gadgets. No more about worrying about the new gadgets, what I'm going to get. Okay, nothing is going to be of that sort. The technology is going to be embedded. It is going to be like a dream or it is going to be like a magic, what I'm telling today. But we are going to witness it in the near future. So what happens is, so there is no need, if I wanted to have a session or if I wanted to take a class, there is no need for me to carry the gadget. There is no more I'm going to worry about whether my projector is working, my laptop, I have to carry my laptop, nothing. So wherever I am, so I should be able to give the lecture or whatever, the communication should happen. So Internet of Things. So here we'll be having out, so it is going to be like a lecture, but still I would like to say some of the basics what we are going to concentrate. So sensors, it is going to have the sensors, the connectivity, and with the how it is going to be connected with the people and the process. This is going to be the underlying things. Okay, that is sensor, from where I'm going to get the data, and then how the connectivity is going to be made for the between the people, or it can be for the process. And there are many sensors. So we are having day-to-day life, we are having all the sensors like position or proximity. So in your mobile, you're having all the proximity sensor. And many of the health devices, okay, with your mobile itself, how many it tracks. So now we have the awareness 10,000 steps per day, right? So how many steps I have made, it is going to be part of your mobile. Okay, that is a motion. How it is going to be done, how many steps I'm walking, it is going to be captured through the sensor, what is there in my mobile. That is what is a motion sensor, velocity sensor, or it can be a displacement sensor. Then what is the temperature? What is the humidity? Okay, if there is a leakage in the gas, I'll be able to sense it. So how much of water resources I'm using? Like renewable energy, we are focusing more on the renewable energy. That is a solar, wind energy. Okay, how I'm going to use? How much I'm going to use it? Okay, if there is any in big industries, if there is any leaks or any levels, it can be monitored by the sensor. Okay, I can even monitor the electric field and the magnetic field. So now we are having a sensor like, so you can even imagine, you can even think about, so when I'm going to take the device near to a tree, okay, near to a tree, so the music, what is played by the tree, it is going to be beautifully recorded. I don't know how many of you have seen that. So if I'm going to take the sensor and there is a device which can capture what the trees are speaking, how it is being done. Okay, we can use it, that is each and every tree's plants has got this music. So we would have heard that trees also, they have only one sense, that is only the touch sense. Okay, only the touch sense. Even the trees are communicating with us. Okay, that communication I'm able to get it through the sensors. Okay, then how it is going to be connected? Okay, now the connectivity is going to be like, if I'm going to talk in terms of my network terminology, it is going to be like a personal area network. So our body itself is a very beautiful network, I'll be saying, because each and every organs are speaking. Okay, each and every organs are connected. So if I'm having any problem in my liver, my eyes will show me. Okay, if I'm having any problems in my heart, okay, when I see the tongue, I can say. Okay, all our parts are interconnected. The internal parts, how many of you know, how many of us are, that is inner awakening, we'll be saying it as inner awakening. So we keep seeing outside world. How many of us see inside? I don't know. Okay, so all our body itself is a very good network or a beautiful machine. Okay, so here, the personal area network, how the connectivity can be done is the personal area network, between my wearables. That is, if I'm wearing a helmet, if I'm wearing a earphone or my gloves, everything can talk with each other. Okay, that is how the connectivity is going to be made with the personal area network. Then your local area network, okay, metropolitan area network, how the connectivity, now the connectivity has become, and the networks also become very feeble. That is feasible. Wi-Fi connectivity, I will be able to connect with the Bluetooth. Okay, I'm having got WiMAX. Then we are having got more of, now we are talking about the 5G, 6G, and we are getting into the 7G, where we are going to have different dimensions. Okay, the cellular networks. the LTE advanced networks. So all those things are going to be the basics for the connectivity, how the connectivity. So first is through the sensor, I'm going to collect the data. Then I'm using all the network connectivity to get connected. Our air or the spectrum beautifully connects us. Okay, that is how we are able to do the wireless connectivity is feasible. Wireless connectivity has happened because of the spectrum or the air. Air is the media we are using. And how are we going to connect it? It can be a process. It can be a supply chain management. It can be a customer relationship support, or it can be something like remote monitoring. So now it is also feasible. Now we are having out an online conclave. How is it possible? So it is being made remote. Am I right? So we can have a control, we can have a automation, we can have a security. All those things is going to be possible because of the people and the process. Okay. And so few field of application where the IoT can be happen. Okay. So every field, I cannot say few, in each and every field, whatever we are thinking, what is impossible, it is made possible by a IoT. So I would like to list out few of the application, like how IoT is going to help in the agriculture system, how IoT can help in the weather reporting system. Now we are talking about smart, everything has become smart, isn't it? Everything has become smart. Home automation system, home recognition. Okay, we are having got bot, we are having got the robo who's going to help us. Okay, even we are planning to go for a tour to the Mars in 2025. Okay, so this is all what's the future prediction. So soon we'll be having got the robot in our house. So now itself we are having out the gadget which is going to guide. So which is named as Alexa. Am I right? So it is going to be like an entertainer. So it keeps recording the message. It keeps giving out the notifications, etc. Okay. Still, it is in the beginning stage. So this same Alexa will be able to have some innovation, some improvement, and we are going to see something better in that. Okay. So this is going to be helped by your IoT. We are having got air pollution monitoring system, smart parking system. So I would like to state about the smart parking system. So when I had been to Zurich, that is for the Switzerland, for a conference, so there I have witnessed a smart parking system. So when I am in the ground floor, so when I wanted to go for the parking system, so it will be identifying where the parking slot is. If it is in the second floor, okay, and they would be named as A1, A2, A3, C1, C2, C3, and I can see it in my mobile, or the person who's going to guide. So he will be having. Okay, in your mobile itself, I'm having out that application in my mobile. So I will be able to see that, okay, in the second floor, the slot is free and you can register it. Okay, that you are going to, or you can register, or what you can do is you are going to reserve that place for your system. So automatically that is going to be done. Okay, how this has been done? So I have done a research and I have even submitted a proposal for this. Okay, for the smart parking system, because this is a very big problem what we are facing in cities like Chennai. So in Chennai, so when I go for parking, so first I'll be going in the first floor. I have to search whether there is any parking slot. If it is not there, I'll be deviated to the second floor, third floor. I keep on searching it. So instead, I can check it out directly whether there is a parking slot for me or not. Okay. Then we have got beautiful traffic management system. So which is again a very big area where we have to, where the research is going on, or where we have to think about it. Then smart gas leakage detector, street light monitoring system, anti-theft system, so many things. Like the most important is going to be your smart monitoring system, irrigation system, flood detection system, and a smart energy grid. So this four, I can say it as I can say it as a very crucial area where we have to concentrate. That is health monitoring system, smart irrigation system, flood detection system, and energy grid. Okay, smart energy grid. How I'm going to store my energy. So with these few words, this is just what all the application, what is going in my area. And this IoT also plays a major role in the education system. Okay, so with this, like a domain, or the domain what I'm working on. I have given a brief introduction about the domain. Thank you.
Sure, thank you, ma'am. Yes, I think we can see a lot of smart devices that are going to come in play, which are already in the existing practice as well. Like you had mentioned, Alexa to Dot to Apple Siri. So we'll have more of these systems in, I think, all the industries put together, including households. That's going to come up more prevalent in the future.
Yes.
So now moving on to Mr. Ratnavel, sir. So what is your view on these future technologies, or what is your projection or the prediction you believe these are going to take us to?
Sure. I would like to talk about a little bit of IoT and AI. The use cases for the IoT has been increasing every day in both domestic and in the industries across all the domains. If you take some of the use cases, autonomous and connected vehicles. Okay, autopilots are not only for the aircrafts nowadays. Imagine the vehicles moving in the grounds can synchronize with the sensors on the roads and other vehicles moving around. That's the future in the next 10 years. Already there are a few logistic companies in US testing these models. Some of them are also live, as I guess. Then the AR and the VR industry. Gone are the days where we see the models of visualization in 2D. Now 3D, three dimension is taking over the industry. Now one can walk into an apartment where they are planning to step in. Virtually one can walk into the apartment and see what appliances I can place it in which corner, what furnitures I can use. So those are the kind of advancement which is helping the industry. Smartwatches, fitness trackers, hearables, they will work for you proactively to indicate the upcoming illness in the next week or next month. The data collected from these sensors can be fed into a big table where even a minor warning can be detected and alerted, which can save many lives. Machine to machine learning, machine to machine connected devices using IoT is a wonderful use case. As I know, PLC circuits, the white circuits that are used to control traffic in Indian railways, that can improvise to prevent any accident. Accidents have reduced drastically, as you haven't heard of any accidents happening over the last few years. Okay, supply chain of the future. I don't know how many of you are using Amazon, Alexa, Google Assistant in your daily life. If you are not, I would recommend strongly start using it. Okay. When I order anything in Amazon, my Alexa device tracks the delivery and keeps me keep me up to date what time, exact time it is getting delivered. Okay. Drones on the rise, but unfortunately it's used to go for both good and bad. In other countries, the connected drones are extensively used to monitor the crops and the irrigation system to keep the crops healthy, and also to improve the productivity of people working in the agriculture industry. In India, smart cities are picking up a lot. As I've seen in AP and other states are really coming up real fast with connected energy system, transportation, the way the vehicles are parked, and much more use cases we can see in the smart cities. Healthcare is one big industry that I've seen the benefit of IoT and artificial intelligence over the last 2 years after the COVID kicked in. AI, artificial intelligence, is changing every industry and business function, which results in increased interest in AI industry for the last few years. And it is also complementing the machine learning and data science. Since COVID-19 outbreak, interest in AI has significantly increased. This is not an observation by me. This is the observation from Google queries about AI, artificial intelligence. This may be due to an increased interest of people want to know about COVID-19 and its effect during this period. On the specific industry and application, I can see increased interest in AI in the manufacturing and in the healthcare industry over the last few years. So one significant complementing to the cancer study, where early detection is really helping those scientists actually to come up with the data collected from all the X-rays and other laboratory test results, which can be fed into a centralized database, which can give the information that yes, the patient is not right now suffering from a problem, but very likely with these pattern upcoming, he may be infected with likely a disease, or need not have to be a viral disease, but anything we connected with this with the human genome or with the gene, those can be detected earlier. Okay. What you need to do as a student, you might be inspired to learn a specific subject, but now these three trends, AI, IoT, and machine learning, they are not an optional subject to be seen. They are it is mandatory that you need to know some high level information about these subjects, as these three trends are going to influence the computer science industry as well as the IT information industry. So I strongly recommend everyone spend some time, read about the theory part, and also pick up some projects related to these topics. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ratnamel, sir. So yes, actually, I have another question. That's so all three of our panelists spoke about taking up AI, learning about these technologies and all things. So in regard to Mr. Akash Verma's view, so where in the recent time we have technologies such as even AI and IoT that's being started to being used as a curriculum in schools. So where the future generation is learning about these technologies and the upcoming technologies in their school level itself. So we are cutting down a little bit of time in them getting to know these technologies. Correct. So do you think this will rather propel the growth of these technologies in the coming future? So this is an open question to all our panelists.
So can you repeat that, please?
Yes.
Kamini?
Since even in the school curriculums, we have in the recent days we have technologies like this, being taught to students. So gone are the days where only C and Java and only Python were taught in school curriculums. So now where I think when minor views are taking up small projects in AI and machine learning in their school level. So compared to the generations, we are kind of cutting down their level of their closeness to the technology. So whereas in the past, it's like you finish school and then you come to college and then you get to know about these technologies. But now there's a direct ladder to these students to technologies where they get to know in their teenage itself. So do you think that will rather propel the research and the outcome of these industries in the future?
Well,
Yeah, it has been rightly mentioned. Okay, can I?
Please go on, ma'am. Please,
Okay.
Neela, ma'am, please go on.
So as you have rightly mentioned that even in the school level itself, they are doing out. So I have been with the school children. So we have conducted a program called Tamil Nadu Student Ilam Innovators Challenge Program, a 4 days residential program. And we have given the students, that is nearly from 8 districts, we have selected the students and we have trained the students. And I was really astonished to see the students, they are coming out with so many beautiful ideas, which has got more social impact. So that really moved me. Okay, even the college students, I'm being with the college students for more than 20 years. Okay, so more than them, they are able to think. Okay, and you might have heard about the Atal Labs, okay, which is going to be part of the school education now. And many of the robotic classes have been taught. Even the 3rd standard students, they are able to have. So I have visited a school near Patabiram, near Avadi, and they have exhibited beautifully all the robots, what they have done. Okay, it is done in the school stage itself. So some gap, it is not, but we can say that is not done in all the schools. Okay, it depends upon the purely depends upon the school principal, okay, who and the teachers. okay, who can go beyond the learning, beyond the syllabus, what they can teach, what is required for them. Okay, few of them, it can be learned in the, only very few, I can even count, okay, only from 3 to 4% students only can do that. The rest of them, so I'm very sorry to tell us, Tamil Nadu, in our state, the education is mostly mark oriented. Okay, it is not that what they learn, how much they can remember, how can they can write it on the paper. It is purely based on that. The merit is also based on that. And the admissions, what they are getting is also, whether it's going to be medical, whether it's going to be engineering, all these things are based on this. Okay, so some change has to be made in that. Okay, so that's what I think. And one more thing I would like to say, this is all out of my experience. As a program officer, as I said, I was there in a higher secondary school at Somangalam. Okay, now Nadu Veerapet, a village. So it is a higher secondary school. So when we have taken our students for the camp, so there were no teacher for +2. For +2, maths teachers were not there, English was not there, computer science to teach the students was not there. So these 7 days, I have picked few students and I have I have made the students to learn the mathematics. And not only during that time, so every Saturday we visited the students. Okay, I myself have taken programming paper for them. Python I have taught the students for the 12th standard. And students, they have traveled, it is nearly 8 kilometers from the place. Our, that is our students who are hostelers, out of their interest, they went and they taught the subject for them, and they got a very good percentage of marks. Okay, so these are something. So this is also there. Okay, we are in the heterogenetic community. So we cannot say that, I cannot say one school is doing well because of that. So they are learning everything. If I see the other end, so they don't have the basic necessity also, basic facilities also is not there. So that the teacher is not there. How can we expect the student to? That is also a village. How can I expect? The basic education can be only given to those students. So the other end, they are having got high-end technologies they are learning. Okay, so when it is going to be a combined or mixed culture, so we cannot, right royally, I cannot do some changes to the that is to the college education or the curriculum. I cannot change. I cannot say that you have learned in the school itself. Okay, let me go to the advanced. Okay, some rocket science I cannot teach. Okay, I have to consider each and every student. Okay, so that is how, so that is my view.
Yes, ma'am. That kind of, answers it. Though there is a bias in the system that's, that's doing this. Yes, Mr. Akash, do you have any?
Yeah, so I just remembered something. So my final year project was in AI. It was in face detection, and I think we were studying some sort of PCA, and till then probably I did not understand the relevance of it. Then I do that now. The point is that my personal opinion again, I don't think any time is too early to introduce people to technologies. My daughter, who's 1.5 years old, she has already learned swiping the screen and unlocking the phone, which is just very surprising. If you see, when I was probably in my school at 12th standard, I hardly had any clarity about life, and I talk to people these days, they are, already talking about CNNs, RNNs, solving problems. Few of the kids that I work with in my current organization, he has been doing coding since he was 15 years of age. He has been solving some local challenges. He was building those systems like, all these water tank measuring and automated motor stopping systems. So personal opinion that the earlier you introduce, obviously it is given by the spark also the child has. The good, I think it's a great idea to do that, introduce technologies early, and the only thing it's going to do is help them out. And it would also definitely shorten the total time spent, because as Neela ma'am pointed out, only few percentages of people really start appreciating things. And even if I look at the way we were when I was in college, we really got a sense around third year or sometime when placements really started, or we started understanding engineering. But nowadays, if you introduce people early to technology, their orientation towards career and making a skill and hence making them more employable could be much more earlier, hence giving them an edge probably than we had. That's
So thank you, Mr. Akash. Yes, I think so. Overall, yeah, Mr. Ratnavel, so do you have any view to share?
No, nothing. I was wondering if to address this problem, if there is a way where we can make the student to see a big picture of how they are pursuing the problem. Like as I understand, when I was actually studying BTech, I remember what AI means. There are some 7 or 8 algorithms in the theory. After reading those algorithms, we will become a master of AI. You know what? That's what people think. So, but there are a good amount of information with the fundamentals. When you read about ant algorithm, right? Ant searching for its food. Okay. One should see that not just that's an algorithm. That's also giving you the insight of how to approach a problem and try to solve it with the available intelligence. Now I believe with the current curriculum, the number of algorithms and the logics have been included a lot. So I could understand the student will really struggle grasp all these things to become familiar with the AI and the machine learning itself. But there is a way to solve this. Try to see the big picture where you are right now studying. Don't only focus on what you are studying. Okay, go back to the basics, fundamentals. Ask yourself why am I studying this, and what is that use case that I will be looking at after doing this. To try to pick up few topics and try to pick up few labs or projects which can trigger some of the initiatives on their own. So that will help address these bias problems. Make sense?
Okay, so I will have a few with supporting Ratnavel sir. Okay, so gone are the door. Even the industrial revolution has become obsolete now. Okay, so no more information is going to be hidden. Okay, everything is there. So whatever we want, right from cooking, anything, for anything, it is there in the YouTube. Okay, everything. Okay, even whatever the subjects we want. If I wanted to make a auto bomb, if I wanted to make a rocket science, everything is there in the YouTube. Okay, now we are not in the information revolution. They are gone are those days. Okay, now we are into the social revolution. How well we are connected. So what I'm doing, I have to keep on updating the status. Okay, so this is a way. Okay, even a teacher, I don't think it will be required for the students to teach a subject. Okay, so for everything, so many courses are there, certification courses. You might have heard about Swayam portal, NPTEL, certification courses are there. Okay, so now there should be some changes in the education, how we have to make the people to learn. Okay, so so learning a concept and book back will be having few questions. So those are going to be solved by the students. Okay, that has to be changed. When they learn the concept, they should be able to identify the problem. Okay, they have to identify what is the problem in that, and they have to give the solution. So now identifying a problem is going to be a very big challenge. So our education system should change. So when I'm teaching a mathematics, how to add two numbers, okay, the child should ask a question, what is the necessity, why it is coming like that. So when that changes, when when the child start finding out the problems in the concept what they are studying, so then there will be a real success. And one more thing I would like to mention, we are moving out. That is, I have been closely associated with AICT, and I have visited 2 weeks back. I was there in Delhi. That is Indian Knowledge System. Okay, in AICT we are having something called the Indian Knowledge System, and they are bringing out our knowledge. That is, what we are learning all is from the foreign authors. Okay, this is about the education system. Foreign authors, what they have written, we are just learning that, all the formulas, all those things. So we are having a lot of technology. So in our Tamil scripts, so in our Tamil era and Sanskrit, there are many technology hidden inside. Okay, sir was saying about the ant colony optimization, how the ant is going to find the food. Okay, so that is we have to be closely related with the nature. Nature teaches us a lot many things. Okay, so this Indian knowledge system, so if you have time, you can go and just check it out on the AICT website. We are having Indian knowledge system. So where the mathematics, all the technicals, what is there in the in our epics, in our Vedas, all those things we are going to correlate with the technology. So if I'm going to quote in Ramayan, okay, from Sri Lanka, okay, so he has come. That is, I don't remember his name, Ravan, he has come and taken Sita. Okay, so how he has taken in a Pushpaka Vimanam, there's a Pushpaka Vimanam, they are flying, okay, they have gone to the Sri Lanka. Okay, so that is nothing but the unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, what we are witnessing today. Okay, so everything, every technology was there. Okay, and Duryodhan father, okay, he was able to see what is happening in the war. Okay, that is a virtual, what we are doing it now. Okay, so I'm sitting in one place, so all are being connected, so we are able to see. The Kurukshetra war, okay, Dhritarashtra was able to see from the place where he was sitting. Okay, so all the technology is there in our Indian knowledge system. So that is Indian. So now they have formed a group, Indian knowledge system, and people are working and how the technology. The same thing, our Tamil has also got lot many of technologies. Okay, so in that way also we have to educate. The education should also change in that way. Okay, that is based on the technology, based on how our ancestors was there. So that with the nature, with what our ancestors have gone, so that can be given.
Absolutely.
Sure, absolutely, like sir said. Yes. So I think answering back, to our first question about the prediction of future technologies in the future, I think I like to stick to this one point that Dr. Nilavathi ma'am had also mentioned. Technology is going to be very pervasive and embedded everywhere. So technology is already present in the present, but a lot of people, they approach technology without knowing it's technology. So I think that's going to transcend into a phase where everybody is going to know what they're using, and they are surrounded by machines and technologies from the field of agriculture to healthcare, where in this recent practice where we use IoT in cardiology, where the doctors monitor the biometrics of the patients as well. So let's hope that this technology is also going to help us save a lot of life in its pros. Okay. So moving on to our next topic. So our next topic is going to be current best practices in the industry. So I think I'd like to, first ask Mr. Ratnavel sir, this particular question, with regards to your experience and the projects you've worked in. So please share your experience or your interaction with the focus area or expertise of your choice. Where do you think, or what do you think is the current best industrial practice? The current best practice that we use in industry that is focusing on technologies.
If I ask you to repeat the question, unfortunately there is a break in the voice.
Sorry, yes. What are the current best industrial practices in line of your work?
Right. The best practices, there are a number of best practices that I am aware from Google itself. If I have to take an example, TensorFlow is a machine language. It's an open source machine language, which is available for anyone to access. They can feed their data and then make use of that engine to come up with its analytics, right? Suppose I can take some of the use cases that I worked on. In the Toronto airport, where there was a problem. The problem is when a flight lands, how much time it takes to allocate bay for the flight to go and dock into it. Okay, and this has a cascading effect on the overall performance of the other flights roaming around the airport. Okay, to solve this, although the signaling system is all a rugged system in use, but some logic is needed to collect this data and then
As I believe Ms. Ratnavels is facing a technical issue. Yeah.
I guess there was a break here, and I apologize for that. I'm audible now? 1 minute.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, thanks. So as I was mentioning, that was a problem, and with connected devices, and then the data was fed into a data warehouse where it compared that with the previous year data. Okay, if like there were averages of each flight, actually how much time it takes after landing and then go to the parking lot. Before landing, it has to wait for some signals, and then those data has to come from the past analytics. So that was one use case. The other use case was so with IoT, that was at least the time was reduced by some 20%. That significantly saved a lot of cost. And the second use case was use of accessories in the toilets. Like an airport has got at least 50 washrooms, right? And the usable the consumables that were used in the toilets were replaced by humans. For that, there were at least a team of 50 people managing them. Okay, the problem was every time when an accessory is exhausted, almost going to be finished, then by the time the person who is responsible to go and replace it, then there is a SLA, service level, which is hit. And there's a cost also to manage for such a small requirement. We need 50 people. Okay, so both the problems were addressed by implementing with sensors fitted on these accessory devices, and these sensors transmit data over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth and other protocols to a central database, which collects information, precisely proactively alerts. One need not have to walk into the washroom to replace an accessory and check whether it is going to be exhausted or not, but rather proactively it will go and the system will alert, hey, go to this washroom number 5 where this consumable need to be replaced, which is going to be finished. Okay, so the 50 resources has been reduced to 5 resources because we have the data handy, and the intelligence tells us upfront what is going to happen in the next 5 minutes. That was good enough for someone to go just walk in and then do that. That avoided the step of going and monitoring things. IT systems. Okay, another use cases, if there are 100 servers running in a data center, okay, proactively any hard disk which are going to fail, okay, the disk medias which will send alarms that based on the response times observed from these disks. Okay, that data can be collected and put it on a big table. Big table is a service from Google, if many are not aware of, and that service, that data can be analyzed to see how many failures are upcoming. With that, we don't need to wait for the disk to really fail. Before that, proactively one can go and replace the disk systems. So these are some of these use cases, but a number of use cases are there, and increasingly day by day these use cases are coming up. Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So yeah, so technically, so these best practices are also, going to save us a lot of time, and I think that's the major objective of technology as well, in cutting down and increasing efficiency.
Yeah, I forgot to mention about the best practices. Actually, that was your question. Solving to these problems didn't happen just by writing a code. So there were the best practices. TensorFlow was one example. Likewise, so we followed. I forgot the name of these best practices that were followed, but there were best practices written using business intelligence and other tools where people have already solved the problems, and we have to just follow those best practices to solve these problems as well. Yeah.
To add to this, Kanmani, I can just add a few frameworks. This is Akash. So in analytics, there's a very wide framework called CRISP-DM, which is very widely followed. You can call it a best practice, you can call it a framework. It's for solving analytics problems. So anytime we start with an AI problem, we are effectively iterating over CRISP-DM cycles. And that's one thing if you want to study and look around, it was introduced by IBM, but I don't think anybody is worried on that. It's predominantly largely used everywhere, and it's more of a framework. It's not a technology per se, so you can read about it, understand it, and just implement it with any set of technologies you have. Purely agnostic of the programming language like Python or anything can be used. It's more about the process and what is used to kind of work with AI and analytics projects. CRISP DM is the name, CRISP.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Akash. So, Dr. Nilavathi ma'am, so yeah, your opinion about the current practice in IoT maybe, or any use case also you believe is the best practice?
So as an academician, so the best practices, so how I'm going to mentor my students, right? So what is my contribution towards the students community place, and how I'm going to be, what I have done for the community. So that also counts. So one of the paper called professional practice. Okay, so there I have engaged my students, so with the industry people. I had nearly 24 students, that is for the PG. This has been done for the PG. So I have made a team, and this team, they have been connected with each and industry like Ford, then industry from Australia. So they have been connected. Nearly 7 teams I have formed, okay, 2 per team, and they have been connected, and it was during 2016. So they have been connected to the Skype, and every Saturday, the whole day, a person from industry used to come, and she is my very good friend, and she has given out the industry practice, what is required for that industry. Okay, the PG students mainly they come for either they'll be getting into the research or they will be going for the teaching. But here, handling of this paper, knowing out what is the industry needs, okay, nearly 15 to 16 students have been placed in the industry. Okay, so I'll be very proud to say one of my students is working in ISRO, and all other 16s are being placed in the industry. So when they have been initially observed by the industry, so they will be undergoing a training for 3 to 6 months. But looking out the capability my student has, so this was the feedback what is given by my students. They said proudly, ma'am, within a week, so as we have learned all these things, what is the industry's perspective, so we have been directly placed in the projects. Okay, so that made me really happy. And one more project what I have given is, so I asked my students to make a survey. It was on 2 concepts. One was on the underground water. Okay, they have to identify, because Chromepet is facing with the crisis with the water underground. Not only Chromepet, whole Chennai is having the problem. I think for the past 1 year, we are not having that problem. But we have been starving for the underground water. Okay, so what is the reason? So they have made a survey with the Chromepet and around. And one more thing was a traffic analysis from, that is a real-time what they have worked. So right from Tambaram to airport. So because of the bridge, the new bridge which has been opened, now the traffic has been controlled. So before that, so to cross Chromepet to Pallavaram itself, it was taking half an hour time. So we have identified, we have done the analysis, and the report has been given to the transport management. Okay, so that we have done. But every paper or every course, whatever I'm handling, I will ask the students to make a mini project which is going to be very socially relevant. The student should know the social, what is their contribution to the society. As a NSS program officer, this is the first word in the orientation I'll be telling out. So they'll be doing all the cleaning. Okay, that is the nearby park, nearby temple, school teaching. They'll be making awareness. Okay, they'll be making all the survey. All these things to the groundwork they have to do. They have to soil their hand and do the work. Okay, why they are doing all this is, so tomorrow when they are going to sit in a higher official seat, okay, they can be, many of them are going for, many of them have also become IAS officer. So when they write royally, they'll go and sit in that place. They will not knowing about what is there in the village side. To give that awareness, we are taking out our students, that is the first year students, we are taking to the village, make them stay. Okay, so where there will be no facilities. Okay, so they have to, so one team will do the cooking. Okay, we will be staying only in the schools. They have to lie down in the floor. Okay, they have to get up in the morning by 4 o'clock. They have to take the water. Okay, only the restroom will be available. So can you imagine? So in the restroom, our students will take bath. They have to do all those things. That is a base. That is what is happening in the village. What are the problems the village people having? So those things, they are aware of it. So we will be able to sustain in any type of environment. To that, we have making our students ready. And really, so there will be a yoga session for the students, and I teach the yoga for the students all the 7 days, and every week they have to learn the yoga, okay, to keep them healthy. And many motivations will be given to the students. Okay. And I would like to state one more thing, so what made me feel so much. Okay, so in Krompet, so we are having out in Chitlapakam, there is a very big lake. So that lake, slowly it was being dumped with all the garbages. All the garbages has been dumped in the lake. Okay, that is a very big lake. Now you can see in the website, if you go and check it out, that is Chitlapakam Lake. It is a very beautiful lake. Now you can witness. So before that, we have been, it was a dump yard. So one part of the lake has been dumping. And there I see a police station, and there is a primary school, government primary school nearby that police station. So I can say that we cannot stay in that place even for a single minute. Okay, without closing our nose. Okay, it was such a bad smell we'll be getting out there. So I really fought, and I have written so many letters to the Pallavapuram municipal, and I have taken my NSS students. I have there along with some NGO. So we have done the cleaning, surface cleaning, all the cleaning for the lake, and we have given the letters to the government. Okay, our students were there in that, and I was also there in that place. And now that is even from Tambaram, all the drainage water was mixing with that lake. Okay, so that also that also now it has been stopped, and we are having a very beautiful lake, and we are planning for boating with the Chitlapakam. So this real-time social awareness, and so these things has been inculcated in our students. Okay, so when my student as IAS officer, when he goes and sit, or any higher position when he goes, he should understand all this basic. When he so when he have been given a paper for signing, or when the people are asking for some facilities, he should remember those things. What was his difficulty? What he has faced there? Okay, he should. So they will not be having time to go and see the places. Okay, so in that time, he should understand, and he should be able to sign, and he should be having out that awareness about it. Okay, for that, these are some of the good practices what we are inculcating to the students. And for every course I teach, I'll be giving a project. They have to do a project. And I have done a project for this biodegradable and degradable segregation. This degradable, that is, it should not be done by a human. Okay, when there are a lot of machines, why the human should segregate it? Okay, so my research is on that. And I have made a prototype for this prototype model. It is in the prototype. Soon I have to make it as a, soon I have to bring out that working model. Okay, so there I have made the non-biodegradable and the degradable waste. I have made a that is a vast survey on that, and I'm working on that. Okay, this is my project. And one more thing is using a quadruped. How can we monitor the agriculture paddy? And my that is my research area is on the security. I'm working on security in IoT. So these things, practical, and what are the tools, all those things will be teaching the student. They should know, they should not learn what is what. So they have to know how to implement it also. So this is the way I do, this is where I think it as a best practice. It might be part of the curriculum, or it might be what academician should do. But I feel, so something what I'm teaching to the students, okay, what they are coming to know, it's a big achievement for me. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I also have a question to you. Could you please tell our audience, the relationship between the importance of IoT and security?
IoT and security.
IoT in security.
Okay, so we have many problems in security. That is, first I should be able to identify what all the attacks, what types of attacks will be there. Okay, each and every layer has got its own attacks. That right from sensing. So when I'm sensing itself, there will be a lot of attacks. When I'm going to communicate, when I'm going to get connected. Okay, in each and every layer, there are a lot of security issues. Okay, so to classify, if I'm going to say attacks based on that layers. Okay, it can be a physical attack, it can be a side channel attack. So physical attack is, I can say the physical attack is how the data, that is a connectivity. If these two devices are connected, okay, it can be in a room size or it can be in a campus size, whatever it is. So when the two devices, when I say about a smart room, okay, smart room means all the devices are going to be, they are going to talk with each other. Okay, so my water bottle, so I'm having a water bottle, I'm having a flask. Okay, so these two also should speak. Okay, so it should tell me, okay, your water, it is a time to fill your water, it is time to drink water. Okay, so in this also, if someone doesn't want to happen that, so they can probe into that, and any types of attacks happen. That is, it can be in the communication, when these two are going to communicate. That is going to be the physical attack. I can have the side channel attacks. So how these data are carried, it is going to be the spectrum. Okay, it is going to be the air media what is going to use. Okay, so you will be having all the channels. Okay, so it is going to be Wi-Fi connected or Bluetooth connected. So where you will be where you are going to use an unlicensed channel. That is 2.4 gigahertz. We'll be saying it as ISM band. Industry, science, and the medicine. Okay, for the research purpose. So this is going to be a unlicensed channel. So this channel is going to be again divided into so many. So it can be a 2.4 gigahertz. Again, it will be divided into so many channels. Okay, so that at a time, some 200 or 100 communication channels will be there for communicating. It is not only these two are going to communicate. Many of the devices, my book is going to communicate, my system is going to, my mobile or my wearables also will be able to communicate. So when they are going to communicate, so there can be a channel attacks. Okay, so channels, I can say some noise, I can insert a noise. So when the noise is there, they'll not be able to communicate. Some critical situations where the communication should happen, or some alert or some notification should be given. So that can be modified. Okay, through the side channel attack, that can be modified. So it can be like a power, using of the power, zeros and one. It is going to be signals only, right? Not zeros and one, which can be using of the power analysis, it can be made. So I can make some fault analysis or some electromagnetic analysis also can be made. So these are some of the side channel attacks what I'm having. Like that, I can keep on talking. That is environmental attack as that. Cryptanalysis. Okay, cryptanalysis attack. It can be cryptanalysis in the sense, it can be like a ciphertext only attack or plain text attack, or it can be a man in the middle attack. Okay, a man who's going to be in between these two channels, he can modify. So it need not be a man, it can be any application, it can be any virus, or it can be a bot, which is going to modify the signals. Okay, it will modify the signal, modify the message, and it will be able to send. Then it can be a software attack. Okay, it can be software attack, mostly it is going to be the OS level, like a virus, Trojaners, worms, logic bombs, or it can be a denial of service. Okay, the resources I'll not be able to, I'll not allow the resource to use. Okay, it can be a denial of service, or a very huge part is going to be the network attack. So the network attack, eavesdropping can be someone keep on hearing what I'm telling. Okay, and later it can be a passive attack, or it can be a node, a single node alone can be captured, or node malfunction can happen, or message corruption, message can be corrupted. Okay, some routing attack. Okay, routing, it becomes into the loop. Okay, it will be in the loop, it cannot reach the destination. Okay, so this can be a network attack. So many types of attacks are there, and in the real time only I'll be able to do that whenever the new attack comes. So whenever I'm going to write an antivirus, or whenever I'm going to secure my system, some new types of attacks keeps on coming. Okay, so it is like a police and the police thief game only it is. So when the police is identifying what the thief has made, how he has made the theft, okay, some measures are going to be made. Okay, so when measures are known to the thief, so again, he will be overruling it. He will be finding a better way to go forward. Okay, so this is going to be like a hand in hand. It keeps on working out for the security. So not only for IoT, for all the digital media. So we are having all these issues.
I would like to, that's well said, Neela. I would like to add a few points. Can I, Kanmani?
Yes,
sure, sir, sure.
Yeah, so at a basic level, IoT, we can say there are two distinct parts. One is the physical aspect of it, and because IoT is all about things in internet, and so the cyber security part of it, because we are collecting a lot of data and using it, right? So the cyber aspect can be very easily addressed by following some of the best IT security best practices. Say if you are installing an Android app and connecting some devices, do not install any app which is not certified by Play Store. And so follow some of these best practices which are certified. Most of the applications or any frameworks you choose, make sure you look at whether it is certified cyber secured. The physical, but the problem with the physical part might not be the same as in cyber security, as it still doesn't follow some of the rules, and there are not many best practices available. Okay. Knowing when and how you must secure the physical element is going to be a major focus in the upcoming trends. And this usually requires the developers some thinking around and build the physical security aspects of it. So this, I would say, still it's an open challenge in the IoT field, because the sensors, when it is installed and running live, there are things which can happen. Someone stealing the information physically, where the small amount of data is stored in the sensor itself in some cases. So the possibilities are there. Someone can pick up that information and take it, but though it will not have any significant impact to the overall system, but still there'll be a missing piece of information going around because of the physical security aspects.
It's very true, sir. So we are going towards a digital India. Okay, everything is going to be digitized. Everything is going to be there. Okay, but security, the very big question mark is how secure our data is. So where is the data stored? So do you think that, so I'm making a transaction, money transaction. So they say that you just check it out HTTPS. If there is a yes, you are going to have it secure. The data is not going to be stored, but that is not at all true. Right? So all these data can be stored. Anything can be manipulated. Anything can be done. Okay. So security is a very big challenge, and many works are going on in the securities.
Absolutely.
Yes, correct, ma'am. Thank you, Neela, ma'am, for that, in brief explanation of IoT and security, and also thank you, Ratnavel, sir, for pointing out the current open challenge that we have in IoT as well as in cybersecurity, right? So by this, we come to the end of our third round. So the current best industrial practices, if we see shared by our panelists, starting from, Chris DM to what Mr. Ratnavel sir had shared about airport bay parking, consumables filling up, and also I think, from the use of these technologies, it's going to come up in agriculture and other industries. It's yet to begin with also. So now we'll move on to the next round. So this is the round 4 is going to be like moderated, curated questions. I just have a couple of questions, probably a question to each one of you. So I think I'd love to begin with Mr. Akash, if it's okay with you. So
Sure.
one question, so that's regarding AI. So this is going to be a very generic one, in fact. So what do you think is the future of AI, and how would this future improve our life in the coming days?
Okay, that's very broader. Just can you repeat the question, please, once again for me?
Future of artificial intelligence, and how do you think this would improve our life in the coming days?
Okay. So about improvement of life first, let me try and take that because that's easier to answer. The way it works, or the way usually any technology works, is there is usually a larger problem or a pattern identified, or somebody just comes up with a disruptive idea like talking to phones on Siri or Google or Alexa, and then that idea is kind of refined over a period of time. I see human computer interaction and the convergence of AI as a very strong area, because there's a lot happening here. There's a lot happening in the direction of how can computers interact with human beings and also provide responses. There are some extremely nice use cases around bionics, around supporting people with special needs, about giving feedback and all of that. And a lot of Microsoft research is focused in that area. There's a strong lot of YouTube videos are out there to this effect. So the way it affects human life is the amount of interaction of technology, the way you interact with technology, that will improve and enhance. Just a second. The way we interact with technology, that will improve and optimize, given the advancement in vision and speech and NLP technologies. So that's one. I think that would go a much long way. For example, the way we interact our refrigerators, IoT and AI could enable that you could just control your refrigerators from distance. And you are already seeing some very early prototypes in the market about ACs being controlled remotely, or smart homes and all of that. So that is a very strong area which is coming up purely, which can directly influence consumer life. Even apart from that, there's a lot of other industrial applications that could be thought of, but probably not the time to talk about them. The second part about future of AI, I think there's a general trend and fear when we talk of AI ethics, about a fear of super intelligence, kind of a matrix kind of a scenario, right? Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of those discussions. One thing we have to understand is that we are very far from it, and also AI at its best is very nascent. While it is said to be an AI, in a lot of sense, it's a very specialized processing system. There's no generalist AI existing even as of now. There are some examples where you would see robots doing some crazy stuff like doing gymnastics and all of that. But even those are very nascent examples, in the sense of they can't do all of the things. They can probably do dancing, but they can't do cooking. They'll just fail pathetically at cooking. So there's a lot of scope in AI. There's a lot of direction in AI which will slowly advance as it has advanced. And I think there's a very strong future, converging to the point of where AI is smart enough to complement human life in a very supportive way. Yes, there are destructive applications also. You see a lot of these destructive applications in the form of fake news, in the form of deep fake videos that pop up. In fact, if you take a MIT open video course for deep learning, the video is actually introduced by Barack Obama, and after 10 minutes they talk about that it is not Obama, it's actually a fake which has been generated to explain one idea. So there are negative areas, but I see assistive AI, supportive AI being a very strong suit, because that's where you can influence your consumers directly. Something as simple as blurring the background in your video feed, which is just so much helping all of us, because there's a strong possibility that there's a cloth hanging in my background which I would want to hide, or I'm in a place which I don't want to say. These kind of smaller use cases, we'll see them increasing. And that I think is a good future direction for most of challenges and problems to pursue upon. And industrial applications, I'm just not talking about it, there's tons and tons. Those connected cars, connected automated AI, there's just lots of things. Yeah, that's my personal take on it.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Akash. Correct. Rightly said, AI is in its nascent state, so let's not go very deep into the cons of it. Assistive AI and supportive AI are very, a very good future they're gonna insert. So now I think I have one question. So this is regarding machine learning, and I believe Mr. Ratnavel sir would be able to take this. And this is also open to all other panelists also. So we know that, machine learning and AI, artificial intelligence are like, linked, and they're one in one. So why did the trend of machine learning emerge so fast, rapidly? So the mission, if comparatively we look at it, AI, ML, and IoT. So looking at the trend of it, AI and IoT were, very significantly strategically growing. Whereas if you look at the machine learning trend, it had a very sudden growth spike. Suddenly there was use of ML very deep in industries, and all industries across, from healthcare to supply chain. So can one of the panelists, or also even Mr. Ratnavel sir, share your view on the reason for the rapid growth of machine learning in industry today?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes.
Can
I speak something on this?
Sure. May I know who this is? Please introduce yourself.
Sumant, finally a student from Dr. MDR University.
Yes, Sumant, please.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, machine learning was the name itself had a keyword called learning, and there are three types of machine learning: supervisor, unsupervised, and reinforced. And the machine learning model was teached itself to do something. There are three types of teaching. We are using the existing data to be taught, and we are predicting something, and we teach the model itself to be learned from the experience. There are these much of learning algorithms to be taught the model and to get the output. That's what the machine learning algorithm was rapidly growing, ma'am. Just because of the there are types of learning to build the machine learning models.
Sure, thank you, Sumant. Actually, yes, that's a good view on it, and that's also true.
Okay, here the machines have been trained. Okay, they are learning. Yes, okay, from the existing. So we'll be having something like a training and the testing data. So it is all based on the data. So you take a very huge data sets. Okay, so if I wanted to identify it as a car, I'll be having of n number of cars will be there, all feasibility, all feasible ways, the models and the views of the cars will be there. And I'll be making the machine to learn. So if I'm going to see this picture, so this picture is a car. So I'll be training the machine so that when it sees the machine, when it sees a car, it has to learn, and it has to say it is a car. Okay, so I'm making out the machine to learn. So rightly it has been said, we are having three types of learning. That is supervised learning. Supervised learning is I keep on training that. So I'll be having out if there is any error. Okay, if I'm showing a car, if it is going to say it is a bike, so enough training is not required. So I'll be giving a feedback. So if you are going to see this partly also, it should be able to identify and tell. So the training will be under supervising, it will be done. And unsupervised is going to be something based on that input, whatever the output I will be getting out. Again, the training can be done for that. And reinforcement, it is going to combine these two. So in general, as the name says very clearly, I am making the machine to learn things like how we have learned, how the human is learning. So based on that, it has been made to learn. So when you're taking your AI and IoT, okay, so this machine learning is going to be part of your artificial intelligence. So now we are moving out into the another subset called the deep learning of your machine learning. So the deep learning, it is mostly related with your neural networks. Okay, how our neurons, how our brains are going to work, how the information. So when someone is going to touch, how the touch is going to be taken to the brain. So when someone is going to slap you, the pain. So all those things, how it is happening in our human body, the same thing, the algorithms they have made based on the neural networks. So where you'll be having out a large amount of data, the training is going to be done, and many hidden layers will be there for the neural network for them to identify. In general, so these algorithms is going to give you the best output. Okay, so it is going to be used, genetic algorithms are there. So it is already having got the solution. The solution is there. So we are going to optimize it. Okay, the term what we are going to use is, I'm going to get an optimized result, a very best result, the good result what I'm going to get. So that is what the deep learning or the machine learning are doing.
Yes, Mr. Ratnavil sir,
Yeah, that was a very good question, because a lot of people get confused with AI and machine learning, how they differ, because they both actually work together to solve a problem. Okay, I would like to correlate with our own human intelligence, right? We are given brains. Everyone is born with a brain. Okay, but if you compare a person um, born in Japan and a person born in India, okay, and later 25 years after, okay, if you do a study on both the person, the way the person uh, grown up in Japan is with a different culture. So but both have intelligence. A person have the same kind of caliber, wisdom, might be the same or more or less the same, but he's taught in a different language, and if he sees a thing, actually his perception is different, whereas our perception is different based on the logics that was fed into our intelligence. Okay, that's machine learning. Okay, but the RTA itself is the intelligence that human capabilities are the same. So taking this into practical applications, okay, if we are working on a project where we have to solve a problem, let's say um, Google Assistant, AI assistant, okay, there recently I heard that they are trying to replace humans not replace humans, making appointment calls. Let's say a doctor wants to automate his patient's appointment system without involving human. Okay, that means you will have to read certain aspects of patients, understand what based on what symptoms, and then allocate the time based on the prior seriousness of how the severity of the disease, then accordingly schedule our appointment. Okay, so that is the kind of a learning that has to happen. Appointment system is an AI which can be easily be implemented by just installing a software and observing from patient to patient. Okay, from the data collected from each of these patients. So that is something what I recently studied in the Google AI forum, and also like. Take the example of the smart devices which are upcoming. A television in future can read your emotions. Okay, before even selecting what kind of content that you want to play, it can it will have a camera, and then it will read your face emotions and at what time and in which place you are sitting, and then based on the emotions it will try to bring up the content on its own. Okay, in this example there are two things which are happening, right? That the television, which has an IoT device which is collecting the data, just like our humans, we have eyes, they also have eyes. Okay, it's collecting the data, and that data is governed by, or it's guided by the AI system, whereas the decisions which are taken by the neural networks. So this data is fed into a number of machine learnings. So whichever machine learning based on that particular geography, that particular time, the decisions are made, and then output is fed back into the person. I hope you're getting the you're trying to one can differentiate between what is AI and what is ML. If somebody is not clear with that, that's high time for them to get that clarified. Otherwise, a lot of people mess up with AI and ML. They are completely two different things, but they complement each other. And IoT is also one of it. All three together can solve problems.
Correct. Yes. Thank you, sir. So I think the major intention of the question itself was, to give our audience a clear perspective on the difference between ML and AI. So thank you for answering it well. So I think I have one question for Dr. Nilavathi ma'am. I think this has already been addressed in the beginning, the introduction section. So the question is that how does IoT influence our everyday lives? You know, how does IoT influence our everyday lives? So I think even in the beginning you had spoken about Alexa and smart devices and smart watches. So I'm just going to slightly reframe the question into, so what do you think would be the influence of IoT in our future lives, in our future everyday lives?
Okay. So in the future, so it has got both pros and cons. So first I'll talk about the pros. So everything is becoming smart. Okay, smart agriculture, smart traffic, everything is smart room. Okay, everything is becoming smart because machines are becoming smart. Machines, okay, we are making the machines to think, machine to communicate, and machine started guiding us. Okay, in every way, it is guiding us. So, so I can say that I can give some few examples like IBM Watson. Okay, you might have heard about Watson. Okay, it is replacing a lawyer. So there is no need for me to go and approach a lawyer for my problems to be solved, which can be done online. If I'm having any problem, if I'm going to pose a problem, so it is going to give the solution for that based on the IPC code. Okay, it is going to give the solution. And one more thing, Sophia, you might have heard about humanoid Sophia, which was recognized as a citizen of Saudi Arabia. Okay, it is also doing all sorts of what the human is doing. Okay, so many of the humans, what they will not be able to do, like cleaning or mining. So all those things can be replaced by the machines. Okay, so there are hotels now with the robots. I don't know how much it is going to how much the field that people are going to get. Food is served by the robots. Okay, so all these has been connected. Okay, Internet of Things is nothing but the Internet of everything. I can say Internet of everything. So if I borrowed a book or from the library, for example, I'm saying it is there in my shelf. Okay, that book is going to speak to me, okay, through my mobile. So it will be having the that is a return date when I have to return. Okay, it is going to give me a reminder. Tomorrow is the date for you to return the book. Okay, and I can have my water bottle if it is going to be in the IoT. So it will be giving me a message. It's time for you to drink water. You didn't drink water from morning. Or if I'm going to for the amount of water, also it can measure. Or I didn't do any physical activity today. You have been sitting ideally. Okay, it can monitor my health. Okay, so your blood that is glucose level. What is the glucose level? So you have to make so many steps to maintain your glucose level to be very active. So all those things, it is making everything smart. Okay, tomorrow we are going to witness the smart. And I was telling out even these gadgets will be no more. The gadgets will be there. Okay, so that is a way. It can be like a wearable. Okay, like I'm wearing my earrings or some bands or something like that. Or it can be my body itself will be made as a gas that is accessories. Okay, so if I wanted to make a call, so I can touch somewhere. Okay, so there it is going to be programmed. So if I'm going to, it is going to give you a call to my mother. Okay, so I'll be using my fingers. I can use like this and I can talk. Okay, this can be a near future. So this research is also going on. So there is nothing to be. It is not going to be like magic or something, because we ourselves is going to have a lot of data, and we ourselves is going to be the accessories as well as communication. Everything is going to happen within our system. That is going to be embedded in the environment. So
Yes,
did I answer?
Yes,
your
ma'am.
question?
It answers the question of future scope of IoT in the future everyday lives. So this round is actually very good. Thank you, panelists. I think all questions were answered spot on. Where we had Mr. Akash Verma speaking about AI, the pros and cons of AI, and also AI in assistive AI, support to AI. Sorry, and then we had Mr. Ratnavel sir, where he also clearly told us the differentiation between ML and the use of ML and AI and IoT and all other technologies. And we also have the IoT events coming where it's going to be probably in the future embedded. And I think adding on to what Nilavathi ma'am also said, I think as a kid, as a 90s kid, people have grown up watching Power Rangers, they just Power Rangers in ocean you take up and things pop up. So that might also be future of IoT in our future, So thank you panelists for that. So moving on to the questions of our audience now. So audience, if you have any question, kindly unmute your mic and speak, and then we'll take up questions from the chat box.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, and also kindly introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is P.S. Nirup. I'm from Dr. MGR University. I have a question, AI, ma'am.
Yes, Mr.
A
Nirup,
lot
please
of
go ahead.
people seems to fight against or be fearful of AI. What do you think about this, ma'am?
AI, I think Mr. Akash, would you like to take up this question?
Yeah, sure. I don't think there's a need to be fearful of it. Even if that is a world that might happen, and strictly speaking, in the sense of probability, that's probably hundreds of years away. There are really no currently. See, AI is very focused, very specialized these days. When you speak of systems which are artificially intelligent, or wherever you are employing machine learning or deep learning solutions, they are purpose built. They are not generalist system in the sense of they are not human like. There is a very strong learning from data happening, which is history, and they try and predict patterns in some way. And with that idea, most of these systems are in some kind probabilistic in nature. What we don't have is something like a super intelligence, which probably is something that could work, understand, and train itself and respond to those things. So, fearing from AI, I don't think there's a need. The best way to demystify it is to learn a little bit about it. Go and study about probably AI ethics, go and study about the practical applications and even the research areas that exist. None of them are science fiction like, at least as of now, as far as we understand these things. They are extremely purpose built. If you even look at some of the great amazing models like GPT-3, which was released some time back, it is great at having a regular conversation, but it fails miserably at a lot of other spaces. Then GitHub released something like a Copilot which can generate code for you. Now it's great that it can generate code. It cannot write comments. It needs humans to tell it what to do. So some sort of a fearful AI, I don't see that being realized in a very near world. I think if it is about fear, there are bigger problems to deal with, right? We have human beings to fear, we have terrorists to fear, and there's a whole lot of things to fear about instead of fearing the AI. So instead of fearing it, a better way would be to embrace it, and the way to embrace it is by learning about it. Probably that's how I would conclude it.
Yes, Mr. Nirup, does that answer your question?
Thank you, sir. And what type of math do we need to have training in, sir, to better understand machine learning?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
What type of math do we need to have training in, sir, to better understand machine learning?
So, okay, when you say type of math, all right, see, there's a very popular, if you just Google AI, ML, and DL, you will see some kind of a Venn diagram. It's probably one of the most common Venn diagrams in the world out there. It will talk about some different areas. When you say what type of math, the answer is very broad. If you're somebody who's starting in machine learning, which is purely learning about statistical techniques and working with maths driven or statistics driven kind of modeling, AI modeling, and towards either regression or classification or probably time series, then a good understanding of statistics and a deep understanding of stats would help you. Probability will always come in handy. In pure maths, you don't need anything beyond elementary or 11, 12 level mathematics. But if you are specializing in any of these, for examples, you want to specialize in techniques for dimensionality reduction, then you need to get deeper. So it's not about what type of maths, it's about what level you are in your understanding of AI. If you are young and early, standard 12 level math or first year level math is more than good enough, and a little statistics understanding and probability. If you are somebody who wants to create new networks and new algorithms, then obviously you have to specialize in different areas, and then you kind of get into computational theory also. But in general, a basic understanding of maths is good. You don't need a PhD in mathematics to start with AI or machine learning. I hope that answers.
Yeah, thank you. So can I ask something? Myself Sumant.
Sure, please, Sumant.
So actually, in machine learning models, patterns plays a key role. And may know what type of patterns will be in credit card fraud detection, sir?
So okay, I've worked with this. So machine learning problems. Okay, I'll rephrase this and put it this way: the machine learning problems and models are about trying to understand those patterns. So the whole job is to understand those patterns. It's not about what type of patterns, it's more about what type of problem that is. So if you say a fraud detection scenario, usually this is a problem which is called as classification problem. Classification problems implies that given a data, given a transaction in, let's say, fraud, would you classify this as a fraudulent or non-fraudulent transaction? In finance fraud detection, machine learning algorithms, the traditional ones, statistics driven one, are very popular because of the fact that they have better explainability. It's a whole together different area of AI, XAI. If you ask me generically what type of models work well, decision trees are great. Again, I'm not speaking that you use fraud detection and decision tree will work. It might not. Decision trees are good. Usually even your logistic curves, which is logistic regression, logistic classification, could also be a good type of algorithm to solve fraud problems. However, you should not take this approach. Instead, if you have a fraud data, you should just try doing your EDA and understand the data. Try and understand the assumptions that these models have. For example, if it is a regressor, you need to have multicollinearity and all of that. So try and validate the assumptions of the models, normal distribution, probability distributions, and all of that. Once you have done that, run through and iterate through the models that you think could be worthy, and then you will understand the pattern. So there's no single shot silver bullet answer to what type of patterns. It's more of what comes out given the data. There's limited set of algorithms and there are infinite problems. So there's no fixed mapping there. But usually decision trees and logistic, in my experience with the data that I have looked, have worked pretty fine, I would say. I hope that answers your question, Sumant.
Yes, sir, that's fine. I got you. And may know what type of especially what variables will be taken for the credit card fraud detection to observe the patterns.
So I would ask this back to you. What do you think could be the data points that could influence a person's credit card behavior? There's tons of information, right? There's some obvious ones like financial information, CIBIL scores, financial history, banking history, and all of that. But there's some not so obvious ones like messages, your shopping transactions, your dues, even your behavioral analytics. There are some organizations that work specifically in areas where they scan your messages, SMSs, and they understand your transaction patterns. Could be as simple as what time of the day do you transact, what is your age, what is your social behavior. So apart from please go on, Mr. Ratnavel. I think you want to take this.
I think rather looking at exact solution to the problem, there are interdependent data. Like you should refer to a data warehousing, and then analyze the data from the data warehousing from the past history. Okay, I'll try to associate with the rules that are created, like subsequent attempts of repeated attempts of somebody actually trying to guess the password. That is one criteria. Another could be if else pattern. Suppose what if after a repeated attempt and within the time frame there is another request initiated, and there is a false authentication done by the customer, and before the incident and after the incident happens, the time period is taken as one criteria, and whether systems like to warn the user, has that been ignored. Repeated attempts of these lead to a incident, right? Immediately, then automatically the card will get blocked on its own. And we all experience this, right? When someone at my home itself yesterday, my wife's card was blocked because she has repeatedly trying to make use of the card because she forgot the pin. And so there are, these are the algorithms which are at the back end. I don't know about the credit card algorithm, credit card ML, what was used actually, because different banks use different MLs, but all these MLs will refer to something running at the core banking for sure, because these data are centralized now, most of these banks. I don't think we will be able to exactly answer the question, because rather I would suggest look at the patterns and look at some of the best practices for this credit card problems, fraud detection, what I mean to say.
I'm actually forgetting the name, but there's a Bangalore-based startup, and these guys are working with a lot of finance companies. They have SDKs which are pretty much giving your social aspects of your life by scanning your messages and all the transactions that you do, and using that as a credit indicator. So, Sumant, I will probably just conclude, Mr. What Ratnivel and I'm saying is that there's no direct answer. You obviously have data warehouses which have all the core banking and financial data, but you'll probably need to think through your problem and understand what you're trying to predict, and then collect data as well.
Yeah, Sumant, I believe it answers your question.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes. Do you have any other further questions, Sumant?
Yeah, ma'am. Merging the patterns for credit card fraud, is geolocation will be helpful, ma'am.
Sumant, can you please come again?
Ma'am, the location of the transaction will it be helpful for the observing the patterns or not?
Of course, as I said, like multiple factors, location, at what time, and from which source this is getting originated, and comparing the data pattern from the data warehouse. Like, I mean, there is already a set of rules defined. If someone is repeatedly attempting from a specific place multiple times within that time frame, then the detection happens, and then followed by the detection. It will be declared as an incident happened, and then post-incident, after failures, things will initiate. The notification will go to the bank, notification will go to the original customer, and then there will be a SMS triggered, and there will be an email triggered. All these things will happen.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, do you have any other questions from the participants before we move on to the chat box?
Yes, ma'am. This is Banu Prakash, and I would like to ask you about the decentralized banking system. As said, like it works on based on different factors on the centralized in order to find the fraud detection and all. But there won't be any third-party things involved in the decentralized banking systems, as if it comes to the cryptocurrency or such things. So, is there any MI or ML or AI involved in this part, or how does it works? That is what I would like to know.
So, you have probably, I don't know, 2-3 questions there. Can you probably rephrase your question and ask about? Are you trying to understand about blockchain?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I would like to know about the blockchain. Actually.
Okay, so disclaimer, I am not an expert in blockchain. I probably understand it to the extent of learning about it as much as you can over the internet. But it is one of the technologies that, as you have IoT AI, ML. It is one of the technologies that are extremely popular. Yes, and the idea of a decentralized hyperledger is great, specifically in the crypto world. There are two parts to it which needs to be understood. The tech part, which is all the cool stuff, your crypto and the fast money making and all the Bitcoin mining and all of that. And then there's the regulatory part. The regulatory part is where organizations, or rather countries, or a group of countries, are able to give valid currency status to a crypto or a decentralized ledger. Now, crypto as such is a very debatable topic these days, so I'll try and avoid that. But the use of hyperledger is not just in crypto, it is also in areas where you want to introduce the sense of decentralization and still have an accountability of the transactions. In India, I keep forgetting startups names, but there are 2-3 startups, two of them in Pune and one of them in Bangalore, working towards farmer economy using hyperledger and having a decentralized ecosystem. It is about making sure that the products that are, because there's always a challenge of having a middleman in India, which kind of impacts agricultural cost and transportation cost and all that. So the idea of a decentralized fabric has good strong helps in agri sector and making a lot of marketplaces which are currently very centralized in nature. So that's probably something I could share. Beyond that, it's mostly just intangible debates at this stage.
Okay, so thank you. And is there any, I mean, like ML or AI involved in decentralized system?
So there is convergence, or I would not say convergence. There are areas where you could use AI along with blockchain and to understand transactions and nature, and again do similar stuff as you do in traditional banking, like classify a transaction as fraudulent or not. But I have not seen a implementation of that, so I cannot comment on it. I know that happens and it is very much possible, but I have not seen that in practice. At least I don't know of it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, do you have any other question from the audience?
I think I can see the chat. There's a person who's asking about survey, and can you please answer how to do a quality survey? I think Neela ma'am talked about taking a survey. So if you can look at chat and answer
Yes,
that
I think that's
pasted it too many times.
it's for you. Probably for your convenience, I'll read it for you, Neela ma'am. So, ma'am, as you also previously talked about survey, can you answer me on how to do quality survey from people? As they ask you too many uncomfortable questions, why are you doing this, or are you getting money from this? Why we have to fill extra? And I think this question is, can you answer me how to do quality survey?
Yeah, how to make a quality survey. Okay, so this you have to be one among the people. Okay, so you first of all you should not disturb them in the odd hours. Okay, when you are free, you are not supposed to go. Okay, so you have to approach the people and you just tell them what purpose you are doing, what is your requirement, and how it is going to help the society by your survey. So you can go door to door. You can take it in a smaller way. That is, it can be scaled up in the later. You can make a smaller way survey can be made. It can be anything. It can be about what I have done is about the groundwater, about the traffic. So my students, they used to sit and they counted how many vehicles are going, what are the problems they're facing. So it is going to be a real time what we have to do. It will take more time. Okay. So now you are working out, when you're working out with your IoT or AI, so everything, the data set is available. Okay. So the data set is available. We are working on the data set. Okay, it can be a medical data set, it can be a traffic, it can be agriculture. For everything, data set is available, but I don't know how much the students are really understanding from the data. So they have been given with some trillions of data with so many columns. Okay, which is most important, they are not able to identify. Some survey, so when it is going to be really societal interest or societal based, so you have to go and you have to work in the field. But it is going to take you, it is time consuming. Okay, one is data set what is already available. That is from the authorized people, we can get the data set. And another one is we have to go in person and we have to start collecting the data. Did I answer your question? So you have to make them feel free for what purpose you're doing. So how it is going to, what is your goal? So how this, by your answer, how the society is going to be changed, how you can make the society a better place to live. So that you have to make them comfort with the questions. So you have to have your previously prepared questions. Okay, so you have to prepare. You cannot go and ask whatever the questions you like. It should not be like that. You should prepare a set of questions. You have a brainstorming with your team or with the people. Okay, so you do a brainstorming session. So which all will be appropriate question for your goal. So those questions can be collected, and either you can do them, ask them to collect, or you can just ask them and you can keep marking it and come. So that way you can make a survey.
Yes, I believe it answers the question, ma'am. You said, okay, thank you. Okay, I think we have one more question from Mr. Sudarshan. So your thoughts on AI's role in optimizing existing softwares to utilize the hardware to the fullest. Also the role of AI in future computer architecture.
Okay, that's very, I want to take that actually. So, okay, I'll probably give some examples. PowerPoint and almost all video editing software these days, they have an option to choose software rendering or hardware rendering. That's some sort of AI behind the scenes utilizing GPUs, which can improve the quality of videos editing experience. Even in some softwares like this, what you have on screen, Zoom, there's a lot of AI embedded. I mean, as I was talking about it, like you see all the blur around me, right? And it is, I can dance around and it'll still have the blur. This is AI in real time inferencing happening at the end. There are models sitting with Zoom to do this. Your devices that you have, all of them have some sort of an AI engine built onto it. Apple, Android, doesn't matter. So softwares are taking very large advantage. You can see them very dominating in video apps where, because you are interacting with the camera, and in audio ads. So even when you consume content on YouTube, a lot of that is AI enabled. That's on the software part. On the hardware part, that this is where it gets interesting. Some time back, Intel used to dominate the industry with all their chips. Very recently, Apple started getting into the chips, which is the M1 processors and all. These chips are not traditional microcontrollers, or not traditional chips as in silicon chips or microprocessors or controllers, whatever you want to put them. There is difference, but yeah. What is becoming popular these days is something called as SoCs, which is system on chip, which is effectively a processor, memory, and a GPU module on a silicon. So what is happening is all the AI related work that would traditionally go to a GPU is part of the whole chip. So the transmission time and the hop between the CPU and the RAM is reduced. And if you are one of those people who read chip architectures, this is one of the things which are gaining immense popularity. Almost all vendors these days have specialized cores which pretty much do the AI part of it. You call them as either CUDA cores or whatever, GPU cores and things like that. So on a hardware level, a lot of AI stuff is happening and progressing, and probably that's how I look at this. It's a very interesting question too. Thank you, whomsoever asked it. Back to you, Kanmani.
Yeah, I believe that was Sudarshan. Thank you, Mr. Sudarshan. Yes, I think we have one more question in the recent chat. Is it necessary to do masters in order to get a job in the field of AI?
That question.
So that is, so how well you are in the subject. So whether it is not necessary that you have to do your master's. If you are going to have interest and if we can learn all the algorithm, what is happening in the AI industry, if we can learn, even you can start your own startups, or you can even get a job in AI. Okay, BE is more than enough. Or if you want to go in very specialized way, you wanted to learn with a guided, with a guidance, if it is required, you can go for your master's. Now I think many colleges, they have started with UG itself with artificial intelligence. Okay, big data analytics with a BE degree. Okay, actually computer science was itself a specialized degree, but now we are having out as a UG degree itself, we are having it as a artificial intelligence, software engineering, and now I have seen big data analytics. They have narrowed down and they are having out the UG degree itself in this discipline. So if you are more interested in doing out your research, you can go with your ME, PhD, the research you can go on.
Yes,
Yeah, if someone want to do, if someone want to contribute to the industry, don't wait for a master's degree, because the timing is important, right? A lot more timing. By the time you finish your master degree, you may have to again redo something actually with a new curriculum. Okay, so if you really want to pursue in the and contribute in the research industry, yes, master is needed, because you need to know the nuts and bolts in order to do a research. But if you want to contribute to the industry itself directly, I would rather say it's good enough. Graduation is good enough.
Yes, I hope that answers your question. Okay, I think we have two more questions. So there's just one question in the box that says, every day we are seeing automation on search engines, platforms, and third-party tools. Should we change our marketing strategy to address this?
What should we change it to?
If
kind of did not get the question.
Yes, I think so. Whoever's posted this, probably if you can, give us a little more insight into it, that would be helpful to answer that question. Okay, so we have one more question for Neela ma'am. I think it's from Radesh Sharma regarding the survey. So that doing customer validation survey, does we require to target huge people, or we can just target only a set of people, example 100?
No, it depends upon what type of survey you're going to do, what kind of applications you're going to apply for. Okay, so in survey, normally it will not be for a huge count. Okay, it will be for it is based on what type of application or what type of target you are making out. So for example, a person asked me, so whether I wanted to do masters in AI or I can get for a job. Okay, you can ask a set of college students or the people who are working for the industry. So we got answer from Ratnavel sir, isn't it? So as a person he has given. So you can get some 100 10 to 20 suggestions you can get, and you can decide on that. Okay, so the survey is going to be only a sample. It is like a sampling only. Survey can be a sample. We cannot go door to door to everyone and we cannot get it. Okay, so based on the locality, based on the society where you are going to get that, it is going to reflect, the survey result is going to reflect on the societal base also. Again, survey is only a sampling. We cannot go and get for each and every people. Did I answer my question? Did I answer your question?
Radesh, yes, I think yes. So thank you, ma'am, for solving my big confusion. Thank you, Radesh. Glad it helped you. Courtney, Kanaka, please clarify my question. Can you please retype your question? Mr. Courtney. Or you can even unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, I would like to say something before that.
Please.
So now, everything we are becoming machine dependent. So I was even telling today. So machines are becoming like a humans, or humans are becoming like a machines. Okay, so one thing you have to remember always, that we are always humans. So technology, we have to use it for a good cause. So it has to make the human living a better one. Okay, it should not pull us down. Okay, anytime, anywhere, wherever you are. So IoT says that anywhere we'll be connected, anyone we can be connected, any place. Okay, but wherever we are, however we are, so whether whatever field of workplace or wherever you're living, wherever you are being, so one thing you have to remember, so you are a human. Okay, so that is what I would like to convey this. So we are more learning about more technologies are coming into our life, making our life more smart, more easy. Whatever it is, we are human. Okay, so we cannot be fully machine dependent. So how many of you can remember how many phone numbers you can remember? So when I was a child, I was able to remember 50 phone numbers. Okay, whenever they ask for the phone number, I'll be able to say. Now we see that even to recall our number, we are dependent on our mobile. Okay, so if I want to take my bank details, if I want to get my passwords, for everything we are dependent. So our brain is a super brain. So we can store many information. It is equivalent to many supercomputers. Okay, so let us use that in a very proper way. And you are a human. So that you have to underline and you have to remember that always.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I hope that helps our participants also. And also, do we have any closing remark from our other panelists, Mr. Ratnavel sir or Mr. Akash?
Right. Yeah, go ahead,
No,
Akash.
please go on, sir. Please go on.
So as a closing note, like as I said before, also see the big picture. Try to see the big picture. Try to visualize things. What's coming up, what's going to happen. While students are busy in looking at the curriculum and what should I do actually. Whether should I take up a post graduation or should I go for a certification? Should I try to get a job or do my startup? All these things might be like other flying things actually around the students. But look at ask yourself, what is the need of the hour? Okay, what problems you are facing right now? What problems are faced by the industry? Keep an eye on the Google trend. Okay, Google trend gives you a lot of insight on what trend has been adding up over the last few days and last few months and over the last years, and try to align yourself to the subject which is close to your heart, and then pick up any certifications and then start doing it parallelly. At least a day, spend about an hour actually learning new things. Okay, not just completing your graduation or completing your post graduation is not going to help you. You know, Google, Microsoft has removed the joining criteria of employees. They don't even have to be a graduate, right? So world is moving towards that pace where knowledge, experience, skill, everything adding up to an individual come up with an idea, and it can start from a small company. You don't need to be an employee of a big corporate. Those days are gone now. Okay, I wish you all the best. Yeah, Akash, over to you.
I think Ratnavel sir and ma'am has already talked about the things that probably need to. I'll just summarize it very shortly in maybe 2 lines. So, in my career, it has always been about educating and then experiencing the education. So, it's not about getting a degree, and it's neither about getting experience about the work. Both complement in each other. Academics and industry are kind of in a loop, more like an eternal loop. They're tied to each other. So in your career, starting now or should have already started, find ways to educate yourself and gain experience about what you have been educated on, and keep on repeating this. It is not that once you finish a degree, education stops. Also, getting a degree is not just education. You can learn by YouTube, you can learn by reading, you can learn by practicing, you can learn by 200 different ways. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 about this is you need to learn to find amazing problems. Be extremely curious about finding problems. You should not need to have a wheelchair for some kind of problem finding. There are a lot of problems, go explore. I think at a bare minimal everybody has access to Google, and that's almost always enough. And then once you find the problems, solve them innovatively. Don't worry about the challenges you have personally, which is to say, I don't know AI, I don't know maths, I don't have a master's degree. All of these are excuses that just hinder you from progressing further. So to reiterate, experience and educate yourself, find amazing problems and solve them innovatively. Technologies and their cycles would continue. And yeah, there would be disruptors, things like COVID, where things could just be accelerated at a tremendous rate, which the world is not ready about. And that would give you experience, if not education in the first place. So just do this, and yeah, that's probably my closing remarks on the technologies that we have. All the ones that have been mentioned, talked about today, I think they have a very strong future. We are just seeing the start of them in this decade. The whole decade, and most likely when you guys graduate, will have immense potential, provided you have the skills and or I would say you have the attitude and the skills to take them up. And yeah, with that I would stop, and at the same time thank everyone for the opportunity.
Ma'am, I have one question, ma'am. Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes, please. Yes, Kotu.
Yeah, I have one prototype. Means like in future, it is based on this about industry or the organization management. It is what is about, ma'am. I'm planning to in future research. I have one prototype to each and every sector. If it is success or not, ma'am, if I use means the prototype what is it means? It means being like a when a company is running, means on an industry is running. For example, I will take as a reference as a Dr. MDR University. Even the staff and every non-teaching and teaching staff daily you use it to signing, or I have to thumb means means the biometric scheme. Biometric is there for our future salary, for salary basis or work performance. But the main thing is what is the industry organization management means by using the AI, ANN and CNN and image processing and YOLO and big data skills. By using the big data and Microsoft Azure cloud, we can create a sensation. No? Man? Is there anything to create sensation, ma'am, by using this?
So now you have developed a prototype.
Yeah, prototype. If in future research, if I develop a prototype means prototype, that is what is there any use for our society, ma'am?
So what is the prototype you have developed?
About the industry organization management, ma'am. Industry organization management. But have a one thought in a mind, ma'am. One thought is in mind. That is what this is the platform to reveal that prototype. Means I'm also working. I'm also researching in future MTech or any other higher professional course, higher studies. In future higher studies, I will be planning it. In that, is there any consequences or advantages or disadvantages, ma'am?
See, if you have developed a prototype, if the prototype is ready, so there are many organizations, okay, right from Startup India, Make in India, then AICT, MHRD, so many people are coming out for the funding for the startups. Okay, you can get the funding as well as mentoring. Okay, mentoring also can be given. Okay, you can even approach EDII. I told in the beginning, isn't it? Entrepreneurship Development Innovation Institute, and MIT is one of the hub. So if you have any doubts about it, you can get it cleared. Okay, if it is going to be a prototype model, so if it is going to, it has to go under many testing process, all those things, then you can go for the mass production. You can have the collaboration with the industry, or you can have your own startup. You can go for your own startup, and you should know what is the market necessity of the product. Okay, you should know that they will be saying KYC, know your customer, who's going to be the customer, how the product can be marketed. So that is going to be the other end. So now with your prototype, so you can approach us, or you can approach EDII or MSME. So they will help you out and they will be guiding you.
Create a large team, ma'am. Actually, you can create a, not only the AA part is a main, ma'am.
Okay.
AA part is a main, but it creates a some of the sensors like ECE students, students
Okay,
is there.
okay. You are having an interdisciplinary team. Okay, you are having a very big team. You can come out with your team. It is not you, means it's not going to be you. Okay. So you learn, you will be given awareness about how to register a company. Okay. Soon we can register a company, how you can how you can go with your startup, how the naming, everything, every guidance can be given to you. Either you can come out like that with your prototype. So if you don't want to give me a startup, so if you wanted to go for your research and your masters, if you wanted to go, so these idea what you're having, if some industries they are interested, so you can sell and you can be a shareholder for that.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for clearing.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for clearing, ma'am.
Thank you, Courtney, for your question, and thank you, Neela ma'am, for taking that. Okay, so as a concluding remark, I'd like to say that yes, technology is providing a ray of hope to our lives. Even as we were fighting and as we fought COVID-19 pandemics, a lot of machine learning algorithms were developed in order to find a lot of cure also. So, and more importantly, technology is ubiquitous, and as Neela ma'am also had mentioned, it's pervasive even in our personal lives. So in short, it is promising that these technologies are definitely a ray of hope in the future. So thank you everyone for being wonderful audience. Thank you panelists for your views and for sharing your experience with us. So over to the team. Over to Fatima. Thank you, Fatima.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was truly very enjoyable and informative to hear all of your opinions and experiences on this. And I'm pretty sure that everyone here shares the same sentiment as me. So now I'd like to call upon Mrs. Amutha to give the word of thanks. Ma'am.
Video. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty for making today's occasion a resounding success. I'm assured that you have also got a lot from this gathering. A special mention to our respected President, Engineer ACS Arun Kumar, for giving his concern for the conduct of the program as well as the complete creative freedom. We remain indebted to respected Vice Chancellor, Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi, for the discussions we had with her, her resourceful advice, useful suggestions, and unflagging enthusiasm at every turn of this path. I must remark a proficient sense of gratefulness to Dr. L. Ramesh, Joint Registrar, EPA, for inspiring us always to carry out important events like this. We would like to place on record our gratitude to our profound alumni for sharing their knowledge, expertise, and experiences with the participants of the conclave through presentations. You truly make this day full of knowledge for us. Your deep and intellectual way of imparting knowledge has added to the glory of this conclave. What you see today is the culmination of massive, continuous efforts put in by the staff of Computer Science and Engineering Department. We heartily thank conclave crew who stand as pillar strength. Last but not the least, we thank and congratulate each participant. Without your support, it will not have been possible for us to organize an event of this level. Your presence and participation make this event up to the mark. At last, once again, a warm thanks to all the people assembled here for making this event a grand success. all the people show unity and zeal and zest for this glorified event. Once again, thanks a lot to all the people in this ground for making this event honorable and mesmerizing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Once again, thank you so much for attending today, and I hope that you all have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.